Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for some more of the URC. It's been a little bit of an extended layoff due to international rugby, but some massive matches taking place today, including the South African derby. The Bulls going face-to-face with the Lions. Now, the Bulls come in as heavy favourites for this contest. Both sides missing some of their Springboks, but overall two very good sides that hopefully will have a very good match here as well. Looking through at the starting lineup for the Bulls, it is Tishak Winnie in the front row alongside Aka van der Merwe and Francois Klopper as the number 3. Jaco Krobela alongside JF van Heeren in the locking duo. So, of course, no Ruan Nokia for them in this contest. He is going to be with the Springboks playing up against the Welsh. In just a few hours in the loose ball trio, Jandre Rudolph will take on the number 6 jersey. He has predominantly played 8 throughout the Currie Cup, but now gets himself that chance in that number 6 jersey. Renier Ludwig as the number 7, and JJ Teron, he will close out the fullback as the number 8. And Bros Papier alongside Keegan Johannes as that 19 combination. Sravino Jacobs is out on the left wing. Serpentine alongside David Creel in the midfield. I do still think that David Creel is an extremely underrated member of this Bulls backline. Sebastian de Klerk, he was on the verge of a Springbok call-up, potentially, for that game up against Wales, had we seen a couple more injuries taking place. And then Willie LaRue, he closes out the starting side for the Bulls. So there is no Andre Pollard. Now, I know a lot of people wanted to see that man in action, and I think some people even bought tickets at Loftus to be able to watch that man. But sadly, due to a calf injury, it means that Pollard will not be available for this game, not even making his way off of the bench. Looking through at the starting lineup for the Lions, it is going to be SJ Kutsia in the front row. He actually had a pretty solid start to the URC season. Franco Marais as the number 2, and then Arif Skuman starting in at 3. Oosterhuis and the big man at 4, alongside Nathaniel at 5. Jared Kens, Ruan Fenter, and Frankie Horn. They are the midfield, the loose forward combination. In the 9 and 10 combo, it is going to be Nico Steyn alongside Chris Smith. No Morne Vandenberg for this match in this Lions side, and that is predominantly, and once again, because of the fact that he is playing international rugby. That's a little bit of a trend for those guys who are in that Springboks kit. Keita out on the left wing, Bronson Mills in the midfield alongside Henko van Wyk, who could be a real handful for this game in the Lions lineup. Kelly Mpeku and Kjuan Horn close out the starting side. But in the comments, we have got there, let's go VODACOM Bulls, the best team in South Africa. There's no team like the VODACOM Bulls in South Africa this year. The VODACOM Bulls will win the cup and bring the cup back to Pretoria. Let's go Bulls. That's a very long sentence, JP. There are no full stops, no commas in there, but I get what you're saying. The Bulls, they are a very strong side. And the thing is, they've had a little bit of a roller coaster so far throughout this season of the URC. Looking through at the table, the way that it currently sits, as you can see, the Bulls, they find themselves in 6th. 3 wins, 2 losses. Now, the Stormers and Munster, they are both undefeated, which is why that game later on tonight is going to be so intriguing, because both teams put in their winning records on the line when they go face-to-face in about 6 hours. But also up the top, Glasgow and Cardiff, both having a decent start to their URC seasons. Ulster in the 5th place position after a good win just recently, and then also Leinster there. The Lions in 8th, and then the Sharks down in 13th. They've got their game up against Connacht, which will be a very intriguing one as well. But looking through at what these two sides have done recently throughout this competition, what we're going to do is we're going to pop myself off to the side so that I can go like that. There we go. These are the last 5 fixtures for the Bulls. They were able to get themselves a high-scoring win over the Ospreys in round number 1 of the URC, 53 points to 40, then beating Leinster. That was a big one. It was up against a Leinster more experimental side, as they were missing. We've just seen one of the most disgusting-looking tackles in the 7s. I think it is Radcliffe, who's holding his, Radcliffe it might even be, who's holding his back for the Great British side. They are currently going head-to-head with Spain, but man, that looked painful. He kind of bent over backwards in a scorpion type of situation. But the Ulstermen, they were able to get the good win over the Bulls, 28 points to 7. A very close game between Connacht and the Bulls, but a 1-point thriller in the victory, going the way of the away side and then losing to Glasgow. So far throughout the season, they've lost to Ulster and they've lost to Glasgow. 2 sides inside of the top 8. So I just don't think it's the end of the world yet for the Bulls. They're still in a decent position, and a win here, as well as maybe a win in the next coming weeks after the Champions Cup matches, put them right where they want to be on this table. Looking through at what the Lions have done. They lost to Cardiff, they lost to Zebra, they lost to Benetton. It was not the greatest away leg for this Lions side, but It got better. They beat the Scarlets and they did beat Ulster. So that is one thing that they've been able to do this year that the Bulls have not. But yeah, they're good at home. They've been poor away, the Lions, unfortunately. And they're in this scenario now how they are away from home. They're at Loftus Versfeld. And that's not an easy place to go and win. The altitude is something that, of course, the Lions are already used to for their home stadium in Johannesburg. But this Bulls side's going to bring a real physicality about them in this contest, which could mean for 80 minutes of absolutely thrilling rugby between the two sides. How you doing? The Sevens at 2:15 p.m. We are indeed. I am going to be popping over for that one. We're going to have someone filling in on this live stream, and then I am going to be popping back after to be able to finish it off. We have got there. We haven't beaten a team in the top 8 yet. The Lions are currently 8th and 3 points behind us. Yeah, so it's actually pretty close in terms of these two sides. Like I mentioned, the Lions have struggled away from home. The Bulls, they've been an intriguing team. And I say it each and every week that they're a side that always surprise me. In terms of sometimes they'll go out there and they'll do extremely well, and other times they don't look like that same team that they were the week prior. The Bulls B team says Miami Rocker. You on the South African 7 suits. We are indeed. And come on the Bulls says Connor. And there as well. But the Sevens has been all-out action in the early stages. I didn't see the New Zealand women's side actually lost in their game up against the USA. USA lost to Fiji, so it's kind of a full circle in that group at the moment, depending on what happens between Fiji and the Kiwis. But looking through at what is happening in the next round of the URC, as you can see, it's a little way away. 21 days until the next match of the URC season. Now, there is an Irish derby just before Christmas on the 20th. Leinster versus Ulster, the Stormers taking on the Lions, Sharks taking on the Bulls. So a few good derbies happening all around this URC competition. In fact, the only games that aren't involved as a derby are actually the two taking place on Sunday later on, New Zealand time. But next week, got the Champions Cup. It is well and truly going to be an awesome competition. If it is anything like it was last year, Bayonne, they will be taking on the Stormers as that Saturday morning fixture here in New Zealand. The Bulls have Bordeaux. That's going to be a tough game, and if you're wondering where the Lions are, they are in the Challenge Cup, so they are not going to be taking part in this Champions Cup competition. But for the Lions, they have got Benetton as their game just around the corner, and then also Newcastle, so a couple tough fixtures there for the Lions as well. But we are getting closer and closer to the start of this match, ladies and gentlemen, only about the 5 minutes away from the kickoff. Prick du Pré, our 90th birthday celebration, says Haino there, and USA women beat New Zealand team just like they did in 2019 in Dubai, says Haino. And also, how come Arge was playing for Leinster? Was playing last night. I think he would be playing for South Africa, says Connor. Was he? Oh, yeah, no, he is one of the players who was taken out of that Springboks environment, whereas Jean Klein is able to play for the Boks rather than playing for Munster. So I feel like it depends on the team. Thomas Tatoy, Boan Fenter, two other guys who had to go back to their sides. But we've got to remember this match between South Africa and Wales is actually outside of the international test window, which means that players and clubs aren't obligated to be released to be able to play in it. It's a bit of a special game, and that is why it's a very intriguing matchup, because Wales have lost a lot of players. South Africa have put together a very experimental but very dangerous looking side. I'm thoroughly looking forward to that game. We've got an hour build-up for that contest because there's just so much to talk about from the November internationals as well as just in general. Come on the Lions, says Lucko Rich. Do let me know, of course, your score predictions as well, ladies and gents, for this contest. Who do you think is going to be taking it out? Leinster versus Harlequins, what a game. Yeah, those two sides, when they match up, they normally do have a very entertaining contest. Going to be a tough game for the Bulls today, says Miami Rocker. Why is Andre Pollard not playing? Because he is not playing for the Bulls. He is injured at the moment, Andre Pollard. They did release him to go back to the Bulls, as the Bulls did want him for this game, but then picked up a calf injury. Andre Pollard, not sure of the severity as of yet, but he's at least not playing this week. Hopefully we'll be back next week, though. I thought the Boks will go less strong. But the thing is, do they have a less strong lineup at the moment? Like, they've got two inside centres as their midfield. They've got a 7-1 split off the bench. Yet it's still, like I mentioned in my preview, it's pretty much a lineup that you would see from Rassi if he was just feeling a little bit experimental during a random match of the year. And I don't think it's going to make a huge difference, in my opinion. I do think that I want to say it will still be strong enough from the Boks to be able to get a pretty comfortable win over the Welsh. Next week, the Bulls will be on full strength again. Says Miami Rocker, and yeah, they have to be because they're going up against Bordeaux, who will be a tough side in that Champions Cup competition. They are just showing the field at the moment at Loftus. Looking like a decent-ish crowd for this match between these two sides. But what we will do is we will run through the starting lineups yet again for these two teams. In terms of this starting front row for the Bulls, it is Tishak Vinny alongside Akafina Merva and Francois Klopper close out the front row of the Bulls. They have got some real power coming back to them as well. Wilco Low, Gerhard Stennekamp. Like when those guys return, it is going to be a whole different story for this Bulls fullback. In terms of the locking duo, it is Jaco Robela and J.F. Van Heeren. Once again, they will have Ruan Nokia making his return soon. Andre Rudolph alongside Riniard Ludwig and JJ Theron as the number 8. Ambros Papier and Keegan Johannes as that 9 and 10 combination. Stravino Jacobs out on one wing. Serpentine in the middle alongside David Krill. And then Sebastian de Klerk and Willy Leroux close out the starting lineup for the Lions. Kutsia, Mireille, and also Skorman as the front row. Oosterhuizen and Nathaniel. I think that Oosterhuizen has been a bit of an underrated member of this Lions squad. He just gets about his business. He's a phenomenal talent, and I do think that he's got a very bright future in this Lions kit. Jared Kens, Ruan Finta, and Frankie Horn will make up the loose forward trio with Nico Stain and Chris Smith as the 9 and 10 combo. Chris Smith needs a huge game here because the Bulls will look to control territory and a little bit of that possession early on, try and get their hands on the ball more so than their opposition. So that is where someone like a Chris Smith, he can't just afford to kick this ball away. They have to look for those counter-attacks when they are available, and perhaps they will be a few opportunities throughout this one. Bronson Mills in the midfield alongside Henko van Wyk, and then the back three, Edouin Keita, Killian Peku, and Kyoan Horn as that number 15. And Cards is making a joke of rugby these days. Old school rugby was better. So yeah, Miami Rocky, yeah, there's been a lot of frustration around decisions made when it comes to yellow cards and even just penalties. In general, we have there the Box 101-0 to the Welsh. See, I thought I was being quite harsh in my lineup or my preview when I gave the prediction of the Springboks to win by about 52. You've gone the full hundy for them in the match. Amy Barrett Theron, the ref, says, I know she's normally pretty decent, isn't she, in terms of refereeing decisions and how it's doing this match for you. So it is going to be the one who just commented just after you. Hey, no. It's going to be popping on for a 15-minute period while I am away doing the South Africa versus Fiji match, because that Sevens game is going to be electric and absolutely incredible. But we are going to be coming straight back here afterwards and joining in. So hopefully at this stage, by the time we get back, this game's not going to be won by one of these two sides. I'm hoping that it's going to be a lot closer, going a little bit down to the wire. But I think if either of these sides were to run away with this game, it would be the Bulls. At home field advantage as well at Loftus. Amy was the benchmark for female refs. Says Wemma. And hoping that Aka proves again why he should be in the box. Says Robert. Yeah, man, and Aka Whanamerva, who's been on the verge many times. And you wonder whether or not with that retirement of Bongio Manambi coming sometime within the next kind of couple of years, whether or not we do see another specialist hooker added into Rassi's plans, or whether it will be more so going for those guys who can play prop as well, like Jan Hendrik Wessels or Amako van Staden. You know, we did see it with Dion Fourie as well. Rassi doesn't mind someone who can cover those two. I wish we could have seen Richard Krill. Says, hey, no, there, yeah, the Krill brothers going head-to-head would have been quite great in this contest. Sadly, we don't get to see it, although off the bench we are going to see Gianni Lombard and also Hassim Pete for the Lions. So a lot of people are asking to see Hassim Pete get the opportunity, one of the standouts from the Under-20 Rugby Championship not too long ago. I see the Stormers beat Munster last year, October. Says Mohadeen. Yeah, the Stormers normally go not too badly up against their Munster men, but that's going to be such a great game. Definitely because it's happening just after the Springboks versus Wales. So it'll be a nice one to be able to call, but also to be able to slowly chill after the big match and just get to enjoy some great rugby. Hopefully, anyway. You got to say that because you never know. We might see a red card within a minute, and then that kind of changes the game. Wales is also missing players. They're missing about 10 premiership players for the Welsh. They haven't got Thomas Williams. They haven't got Lewis Rees-Zammit. They haven't got Tom Rogers. I think that one's due to injury, though. A few other guys missing from that selection as well, but the Lions just about to make their way out onto the field. Go the Lions, says Stephanie. Would either of those number 8s be better than Dwayne today? Says Hanoi. Then Dwayne, are you talking about then Dwayne Vermeulen? I'll be honest, I've never wanted to see players get injured, but there was just that little part of me that really wanted to see Dwayne Vermeulen take to the field for the Boks. Both are unbeaten, correct? That is correct. Yeah, 5 wins from 5 for both of those two sides. We are about to see the Bulls make their way out of the tunnel. It's going to be an intriguing type of matchup between these two sides. The captain, Reinhard Ludwig, leading his side out onto the field. And South Africa 40, Wales 21. There's DJ in there too. I can't believe that game's only 3 hours, 10 minutes away, which sounds like a long time, but we've got to remember this game's going to take 2 hours. From there, you've also got a little bit of sevens going on in between, and then we've actually got an hour build-up for that match, seeing as it is the last of the year for the Boks, and waiting for Cameron Honeycomb to come back. I know a lot of people wanted to see him for this match. By the sounds of it, he just wasn't quite ready, but he has been named in their Champions Cup squad. So I would say the chances of us seeing Cameron Honeycomb within the next... Well, the thing is, originally he was set to be out till February, but now by the sounds of it, he's going to be just after the November International, so that man's speeding along in the recovery. We also do see the return, I should mention, of Eldrick Lowe off the bench here for the Bulls, a player who has also had a relatively long-term injury, looking to now get himself back into the contention for the Boks in 2026. I have a packed schedule today, Hamish Respect. Yeah, it's going to be hectic, but at the same time, I feel like it's quite exciting. The only sad thing is the fact that we can't cover everything on the channel. There are a few sevens matches that I haven't been able to do. There's only 2 games today for the sevens. So 3 games, including that Fiji versus South Africa one, kicking off in about 15 minutes. But the game has kicked off, and inside of the 22 at the moment for the Lions, being rolled back here by Nico Steyn. Honeycomb was in good form before the injury. Yeah, such a shame that he did go down with that injury. Definitely during a period where the South Africans did have a lot of other number 8s who are currently out. Our Lions in their graffiti kit today, they are not. They are in the classic red, so much easier to read the numbers as Nico Steyn puts that ball into touch, and it will be the line out here for the Lions. And Bulls, we awesome on full strength, says Miami Rocker. Yeah, there are a lot of these sides that they are looking forward to having their best players back. You know, the Lions, they are probably the side out of South Africa affected the least by players returning, as they only get about 2 or 3 of the Boks coming back. And that is because they only have 2 or 3 Boks in that Springbok squad. But now rolling more here for the Lions. They sit 40 metres out from their own line, going back across to the right-hand side for Nico Steyn. Finds the hands of, I thought for a second that was Chris Smith, but that was actually Bronson Mills hitting the ball up. I was about to say Chris Smith isn't really known for his running game. He likes to kick that ball now, passing it across to, I believe it is going to be Henko van Wyk. And same, I wanted him to play against Wales. Vermeulen, says Hanoi. Would have been great to see. And the thing is, he's probably still in very decent shape. I would think Dwayne Vermeulen, you need to throttle your vocal cords for the Boks game. Says Ruby. Yeah, I'm not sure how much of a voice I'm going to have tomorrow, but we're going to be trying our best to get through that all-nighter of sevens as well. That's a good tackle made on Sebastian de Klerk. Off to the left-hand side here for the Bulls once more, looking to shift this one. Big skip pass over the top. Finds the hands of David Creel, who found himself out on the wing, trying to get the steal in the breakdown where the Lions are unsuccessful. For Henko van Wyk. Of the Matt Williams rant if Dwayne goes on for the Boks. Says Robert. Oh, trying to milk that penalty advantage, and they will get the penalty there, the Bulls. And Bros Papia just passing it into the Lions player. Going to be a sad day for Wales, says Hanoi. Yeah, although by the sounds of it, they're pretty excited about playing in the contest up against the Boks. It also sounds like it has been organised for quite some time, the matchup. But, yeah, I think that Wales, this is a great opportunity to test themselves, see where they are at depth-wise. So, yeah, like, I can only see positives for Wales in this game, even if they get beaten by 50, which is weird to say, but, yeah, we see it there, Ambros Papia milking that one like it was a cow. Hopefully that's the only time he's going to try and milk a penalty throughout this game. But now Aka van der Merwe ready to throw this ball in for the Bulls. Nicely taken at the front of the line out. Oh, rough pass and knocked on by van der Merwe. Wasn't the best pass from Jan-Brad Rudolph in the captain's press conference. Said Dwayne Dwayne was trying to hurt the guys in training. He really wanted to play. Hamish High says Wild Lobster and as well. But yeah, by the sounds of it, it's Untutuku Machunu going in first if there is an injury, and then from there, yeah, the option of Big Dwayne, if needed, and positive for both teams depth-wise, says Pleasant Tees. I was seeing Khaleesi rude to the Wales. He said it was an easy win for the Springboks. I mean, the thing is, no matter what the quote is, it's going to be taken out of context. But the Springbok side, they are expected to win comfortably. Heard the same on the podcast, says Pleasant Tees. And also, Wales can only get better for sure, says Wemma. Back weight's 924 kgs for the Lions compared to about the 800, and I think that's at 70 for the Bulls, and we are going to get to see a scrum reset here. My front row's just collapsing under that little bit of pressure. Hope you're doing well, Hamish. Lions not the best side in World Rugby. But play really exciting rugby. Amp for this one. So here's HDB. Yeah, they are the type of side Wales. Oh, sorry, Lions. I said different red side. But yeah, Lions, they can be the giant slayers. Every once in a while throughout this season, and actually last season as well, they just have their moments where they look like they're just a well-oiled machine. They narrowly missed out on the top 8 last year as well. But I feel like this year has to be their time. There doesn't seem to be a top South African ref these days doing the test. Yeah, the last one was kind of Jaco Piper, wasn't it? We haven't seen the next guy coming up through there. I'm trying to think of who it would be in terms of that next big option for the South Africans. Bulls are the GOAT. Says Arno there, and the ball is available for Nico Stain. Goes off to the short side. Killian Peku, a little bit isolated. He gets tackled low by the Bulls, and that looked like it was going to be a turnover. Little knock on. In fact, one from the Lions, then one from the Bulls, so it is going to be the scrum feed for this Bulls side. Hey, Hamish and everyone, Lions by 1 or more, thanks. Says Studs Racing, come on. The Lions, says Tyrone. And also, hey everybody, lots going on today. Says Bruce. And also, I've been playing, better than my team, the Sharks. Yeah, see, the Sharks are another side that everyone's expecting at some point to gel. They haven't done it yet. But that doesn't mean that they won't. I feel like that's one slightly good thing, in a way. 1 second, we go like this, and like that. There we go, scrum feed again. How are you watching this? On URC TV. It isn't on Sky. They lost TVNZ actually lost the rights for the URC. So yeah, URC TV season pass. That's how I'm watching this one. Also time for the Springboks game. Says Mohadeen. Yeah, it's only about 3 hours away. Going off to the right-hand side. And Ross Puppy, that was a rough pass, but really well handled from Sebastian de Klerk. And that's going to be another knock-on this time coming from the Bulls. So we get to see another scrum feed this time favouring the Lions. And like I was saying, just a little bit of rust. At the moment, we've got to remember, this is the first time in about a month that these sides have actually been together. And it's on DSTV also. Says Arno there, and AB7's leading 21 points to 5 over the Wallabies. That's a good lead to have. Did you see that the ladies lost to the USA, Novmum? That was one that wasn't really anticipated. And as Hamish says, Youngcoat doing very well, mate. Very excited for all the rugby today. We've got some 7s just around the corner between South Africa and Fiji. That is a top-of-the-table clash after the Blitzboks got themselves the win over France, and Fiji beat the Argentines. That is the pool of death in the 7 circuit, and it's definitely going to be a tough one, and every point is crucial. Yes, that pool is wide open, and I think that the one big benefit for New Zealand is the fact that Fiji beat the USA. Had they not done that, it could have been a different story, but now must win for the New Zealanders up against the Fijians. Ball's now fed in by Nico Stain. Off to the right-hand side, chance here for it was Chris Smith, and wins the 7s. Between the Derby and the Test, says Yanko. So the 7s game that I'm covering is actually taking place in 6 minutes' time. And what we are going to do is we're going to have a replacement coming on the live stream for about probably 15 minutes or so. And then I'll be joining back up as soon as that match is finished to come back and finish off the game. What time are you live on Wednesday morning? So South African time, the draw's at 11. I'm not sure whether or not it will be 10:30 a.m. South African time or 10. Whether or not we have an hour or we have 30 minutes, I haven't quite decided yet. But it will be one of the two. Georgia Miller sort of right back into the 7, so many Black Ferns now playing in England's says all in the game. Yeah, and the fact that Braxton Sorensen McGee is in there as well, I feel like that's a very exciting time for the New Zealand 7s. But this one's kicked into touch by the Bulls. Looks like Henko van Wyk is having a little bit of a trouble with his arm here at the moment. Hopefully going to be all right to be able to continue in this contest. He is the last player that the Lions want to be losing at this stage, alongside someone like a Frankie Horn. If Dwayne played, it's like the Wallabies in 1996. India tore their physio. Ex-All Black Dirk Williams played due to all the injuries. Says, yeah, it's just something you don't see nowadays. So that's where I was. Once again, I don't like the idea of hoping someone gets injured. But if there was ever a time for one of those guys to say, I got a bit of a calf strain or I got a bit of a sore leg, and get Big Dwayne back out there on the field, would be pretty incredible. I'll be curious to know if they brought in Untutuka Machunu, though, who out of the props would play in the loose forward trio? Or would they just have an extra prop? Now going off the back, Yandre Rudolph, within the 10 metres for the Bulls here, and Bros Papia, skip pass to Aka van der Merwe. So looks like it could be the first try of the contest coming the way of the Bulls in the very near future. Decent defence from the Lions, I believe, would have been Oosthuizen who got close, and that is even closer now for the Bulls. They are going to be checking this one. Blackfern's now playing in the Prem, an England post World Cup. Yeah, and a few going to the NRL as well, aren't they? Are we ever going to anyone here brave enough to admit that they shed tears over 2 cents a Mark's video about Gaz's passing? I know I did. Says Robert there. Yeah, like the fact that he has been doing videos all throughout it as well, even before his dad passed away, like during the build-up and all the November internationals. Like I know that he mentioned that he's going on a holiday near the end of the year, which is great news because, that will be some nice time away for him. But no, he's done incredibly well throughout the last couple months or so. Now charging forward, it is going to be JJ Teron. He's driven backwards in a good tackle made. And once again, ball is that looked like an ugly shot, but it was actually brilliantly timed by the Lions. Nothing wrong with it. And now that ball floating around all over the place is going to be the penalty to the Lions for accidental offside. Hey, that was an emotional watch, RP Gaza. See, it's all in the game there. But currently, we are 10 minutes through this contest, and it does look like the Lions are going to get themselves first points of the day. They have decided that the 3-pointer might be the best option in this scenario, seeing as they haven't had a huge amount of attack just at this point in time. And Barn now 21-17 to the AB7s. Also a little bit of a comeback coming for the Aussies. I think kicks are going to be so crucial throughout that sevens comp. We saw for South Africa, they missed 3 of their kicks in their last matchup up against the French. I don't know if they can afford to do that up against Fiji, as much as I don't want to. I have to admit the Lions started in this game far better than my Bulls, says Yanko. You see, the Bulls have been a little bit scrappy on attack. They've had a couple handling errors here and there, but the Lions, defensively, they've done all right. Like the fact that they were able to stop that last move from the Bulls was absolutely massive for them and also a pretty big confidence booster. But now striking this ball, Chris Smith, he doesn't normally miss, and he hasn't missed in this case. 3-0 now for the Lions after the 11 minutes. I will mention we're only a couple minutes away from popping over to that next live stream, ladies and gents. So, of course, anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Who do you think is going to win, says Arno? I still think the Bulls have got enough about them to be able to win this game. I don't see it going the other way, but it's a good start to the match in this case. So I feel like they can't, or probably couldn't have started much better than this, the Lions, unless they had scored themselves some sort of early try. Handbags in the sevens game. Says Nov Mum there too. Currently, the Bulls, once again, looking to get this ball back. The Lions in position, 25 metres out from their line with Nico Stain. That one's going to be kicked up high. Downfield towards the halfway line. Vili LaRue. Man, that was a hard collision. With Edouard Cater, 2 men just absolutely smashing into each other. The ball in the hands of the Bulls, but they're going back for the knock-on. Lions have surprised them at Loftus before, says Ruby. And there too, they are just checking on Edouard Cater, who took an absolutely brutal collision with Vili LaRue. But we are 1 minute away from that sevens live stream, ladies and gents. So what I am going to be doing is I am popping away for 15 minutes. We're going to be bringing on our guest, who has made it very clear who he is going for in this contest by the looks of the kit. But, yep, we're going to be away for 15 minutes. We'll still have the scoreboard going and everything along those lines, and then returning straight after. So either you guys can stick around here or pop over to the sevens, but we will be straight back afterwards. But hey, no, we are going to add them in, hopefully with a little bit of luck, and I am going to remove myself. So I'll see you all in a short.
Yes, people. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Amish, for adding me. Yeah, we are here for the Bulls against the Lions. Of course, I've got the Bulls kit on. There we go. So, proud Bulls supporter here. So, yeah. Just gonna move it like that. And we should be fine. So, yeah. Bulls scrum on the halfway line. Good day, Saturday. Good day. Papier. Now, David Krill into contact. He's hit hard, but he gets over the advantage line. Papier Now towards the short side, Johannes, JJ Tron. Did Australia win? Guess you mean the 7th. Let me check quickly. I think a knock on there as Lions are celebrating. Anacom to win Breakthrough Player of the Year next year. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised. Australia lost. Australia men lost. New Zealand won 21-17 in their game. New Zealand. So Australia lost 21-17, which brings that pool. In terms of the pool. Yeah, scrum to the line, so there was a knock on there in the contact. In terms of that pool now for the 7th, I can quickly bring it up. That means that Great Britain are first and New Zealand are second. So, yeah. Lions win between 1 to 7. Fair enough. Penalty to the Bulls, I think. Or did Amy? No. Okay, so reset. It's going to be a reset. So it's on the far end side, on the towards the touchline where the problem seems to be between Chakweni and Aref Skuman. Seems to be the problem. That's a tough call not to. That's a call where you expect the touch judge to tell the referee, well, that guy went down, so I have to give the penalty. Go Bulls, says Yaku. Yeah, man, go Bulls. And now the Lions on the attack. We've got Quan Horn of a Dinkin behind. Is it a 50-22? Or did it just hit just before? I think it might be a 50-22. Should be a good kick. What's it called? I think it's 50-22 it is. 50-22 by the by Quan Horn. Well done by Quan Horn. My predictions for this game was Bulls by 3. I'm not really that confident going with this, so yeah. So Lions 50-22, line out right on the 22-meter line, and Lions, we have seen that driving more from the Lions. It's worked in some cases. Good contest at the line out, and it's Franco Moret who needs to clean up for the Lions. Now, good work there in contact, Edwin Keita. Franco Moret takes it into contact once again. Nico Stein to Etienne Oosthuizen. Now, Henku Venter. Oh, no, Frankie Owen, sorry. Frankie Owen. I don't know why I thought Henku Venter. Hi, Robert. So I'm Hanu. That's my name, Hanu. I'm from South Africa, and I know Hamish through messaging him on Instagram. I basically do these lineups you guys will see. I basically do them. That's what I've been doing for Hamish recently. But I message Hamish so on Instagram and so, and we've been talking for a while now. So yeah, that's how I know him. So what's it called? Nico Stein. Referring to him and Etienne Oosthuizen. I think it is I don't know what the call was. Is it a knock-on? I think it was a knock-on. Lions to score 15 plus. I think the Lions. I think this game will be tight, Joseph. Yeah. I think the Lions would. This is always high scoring game, so 15 plus. Yeah, I wouldn't say they will win by 15 plus, but scoring wise, I think they probably will score more than 15 points. So yeah. So it's a Bulls Scrum inside the 22, knock on by the Lions. Let's see. I haven't been getting that Scrum dominance that we usually get. More Wolcolo, Gerrit Steenekamp, and them. But yeah, Trevino Jacobs now on the outside makes a darting run. Papi, Johannes. Papir again. Now to JF van Yerden. Papir, Veli. Veli with a good kick down the field. It's straight down the middle. So it gives the Lions options. Quan Hone kicks the ball not into touch, straight into the hands of Veli. Again, Johannes Papir. Papir will give it to Sebastian Leclerc. And he gets past one or two defenders. And now the Bulls have front foot ball. Jaco Grobler into contact. Papir, Johannes, Vili on the outside. That pass goes not to hands, and now it's a foot race. The Lions will probably get there first. It's a good tackle by Trevino Jacobs, but the Lions get the try, and the Lions are making life difficult. It's a try for Kelly Mpeku. And it's 8-0 to the Lions. It's a poor pass by Veli, who finds no one. Tried the switch Aru, but it didn't come off. And it's Kelly Mpeku with a try. And the Lions scored twice now. And Trevino Jacobs tried to get there. He did tackle him, and then he just placed the ball. I'm gonna check what is the 7th saying. Hopefully the 7th is going better than this is right now for us. 7-5 to Fiji in the 7th, okay. And the kick is over, so it's 8 points to it's 10 points to 0 for the Lions. If the scoreboard doesn't update, I will probably just put in the chat. You guys, wait. Is it the team I'm gonna have a look, or just communication problems? Oh no, sorry, it's a water break. So quick water break, right? Between these two sides. Sadray says Common Lions, good pickup of his bootlaces. Yeah, really good pickup. And yeah, the Lions look dangerous. Their defense is holding. Like, that's been probably one of the biggest worries this season, has been that defense of the Lions. But their defense looks good this season. Looks good today. So yeah, and they're on good from look. They beat Ulster, they beat Scarlets at home, so they look good, man. Yeah, the score on the screen is behind, but it is 10 points to 0. So what I will do is I will put it in the chat quickly. I think it's because Hamish left. I think it's frozen for a bit. I don't know why. But I will share it. So it's 10. It's Lions have 10 points, and that's the score currently. I've just put it in there. So the score on the screen is behind. Yeah. Stormzy says, "Who is excited for the Munster vs Stormers game tonight?" I'm definitely excited. I'm definitely excited as well. Hoping for the Munster to win. Hoping for them. We have Sean. Where's Hamish? Hamish is doing the 7th game between the Blitzboks and Fiji. Currently, he's doing that. So if you guys want to go quickly there, he's doing that game. It will come back after that game is finished. Lions doing 8-14. Like, between 8 points to 14 or 8-14 as it can't be. So 8 points. I don't think that will be that big. Oh, I'm hoping so. Kicked down the field by, I think, Quan Horn, and Veli has knocked it on. Not a good couple of minutes. There, the scoreboard update. There, the scoreboard is updated. So yeah. So Veli, not his best moment. Absolutely not. So it is a Lions scrum inside the Bulls half, and we will see. So Lions feed. So Stepman Hans has come on for David Krill. Be interesting to see if that's an injury or is it not. I'm not sure. I will try find quickly. Where should we go? I think it's probably injury, because I don't think he would get sub just because he's been playing poorly. Now the Lions on the attack. Chris Smith with a kick straight into the hands of, I want to say, Veli, and it's been has he kicked that directly out on the full? No, he hasn't. But the Lions play quickly and they knock it on. Now the Bulls have it. So Veli kicked it out. The Lions played quickly and they knocked it out. Now Veli with a cross kick, and Stepman Hans almost gets there. And I think he knocked it into touch. Just that final pass, that final ball not clicking for the Bulls. Just not clicking. Is there commentary? No, there's not. Okay. Hi guys. Anyone else from BFN? Yeah, on here. BFN. Well, what do you mean BFN? Don't know quite what you mean. BFN. Yeah. I don't know, but welcome, Gareth. Welcome to the stream. So it's a scrum for Lions ball just inside their own half, on just about on the 10-meter line. Well, from Bloemfontein. Don't know. Maybe there is someone. And good kicking behind by Nico Stein. Bastien de Klerk does well to catch it and gets past one or two players, winning bit of field position. Johannes Serfontein. And Serfontein gets past, gets a half gap, but the Lions steal the ball at the breakdown. And now it's Jared Keynes. Hamish is doing the South Africa versus Fiji Sevens game. Currently, I believe that game should come to an end soon. But the Lions could get another try. And it's Nico Stein under the post, and the Lions will go up 17-0. 17-0 for the Lions. Wow. Just me. I'm Hanu. From South Africa, Bulls fan, unfortunately. Not the greatest name so far. And so, yeah. Spear for me, come back and you look quite younger. We have DJ. Lions win by 15 plus. Well, at this moment, they are winning by 15 or more, and it's, 17-0. 24 minutes in, that's not looking good for us. Our defense looks all over the place. Gary Peter, you want me to stop bouncing? Well, I'm not bouncing, I'm just looking up. Now and then I'm looking up there, but okay. Yes, I am. I am in South Africa. Currently in Cape Town for holiday. Going to the Cape Town Sevens next week. So yeah, but I am in South Africa. Yes. So currently 17-0 to the Lions with 25 minutes pass and good clearance kick there by Nick Stein. Yeah, the Bulls need to fix up. They need to fix up, man. They need to. Set piece hasn't been good. Like we've considered 9 turnovers. That's the glaring part there. You look there, Bulls considered 9 turnovers and the Lions 3. Hi all. Hi, Harry. Harry? Is that how I say it? Apologies if I have mispronounced it. Hi, welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy it. And that, yeah, just as I said, pieces hasn't been well. The ball goes over the top for us, and the Lions have the ball. Chris Smith, a high kick into the night sky, and Philly gets the pass away now to Sebastian de Klerk. Bit of magic from him wouldn't hurt. He gets a pass off to Chakweni. And now Jaco Grobla is in there. Now Johannes again. Skip past to Stravino Jacobs down the touchline. Tries to cut in, slips a bit, and Skillen Peku's over the ball. Oh, and the referee gives the decision for holding on. That's a 10th turnover the Bulls have conceded. 10 turnovers we've conceded in 26 minutes. Shocking. Look there, Andre Pollard, and who's the other guy? Don't recognize the other guy. But looking on. Yeah, the Lions are playing well, but it's mostly just our mistakes. Like, conceding 10 turnovers in the space of 25 minutes. Yeah, it's been 10 turnovers. It's crazy. So, it's not looking good for us. And coming into this game, we were the favorites. The Lions are probably one of the most the biggest underdogs if you looked at the odds. But currently now, the Lions are massive favorites. If you're looking at the odds. Let's box rank 15-14. How much time is left in that game, Sean? Is there a chance for a comeback for us? Or not really? So, oh, we scored early and then messed up conversion. Oh. No worries, DJ. So I'm Hanu. I'm from South Africa. Bulls fan, as you can see there. Unfortunately, at this moment. But yeah, I'm just covering like 15 minutes of this game while Hamish is busy covering the Blitzbox versus Fiji game. So yeah, Bulls score 14 plus, hopefully. Well, we need to score more 14 games. So yeah. So Bulls scrum inside their own 22. We started the game off all right. Yeah. No, it is. Yeah. No, they are looking dangerous up the middle. Johannes with a kick. So who do we have on the bench? So Stepman Hans has come off from the bench. You guys will see there. But there basically he's come off bench for David Krill. Think he's still on the field. Valley with a good kick, but straight into the hands of Chris Smith. So he tried to go for the 50-22, but Chris Smith takes it and he calls for the mark. Last Lions' best game this season. Yeah, no, I didn't expect it to be this. Like, expected it to be tight, but this is looking not good. At 4 months left. Okay. Hopefully, Sean, the Blitzbox can come back. but it's not looking good for the Blitzboks or the Bulls right now. So Chris Smith does kick the ball out, and it is a line out to the Bulls about just inside their own half. 21-5, yeah, that's the game. I expect it to be the game, really. Now, Ambrose Papier. Jan Serfontein skip pass out wide to David Sepp de Klerk. Sebastian de Klerk makes starting run. He passes it inside to Ambrose Papier. And Ambrose Papier will get the first try of the match for the Bulls. And they will take away that 0 for the Bulls and make it 7 points. Means, of course, of the kick to come, but should be an easy kick. And that's just a try out of nothing. Really. Good work again by Sebastian Leclerc. He's been our best player this season so far, in my opinion. So a skip pass by Jan Serfontein out towards Sebastian Leclerc. He makes a good run, and then it's a 2-on-1, and Quad Horn can't do much about that. And the kick is good from straight in front, and it's 17-7. The Bulls hit back with the first points of the game. 10-point game now. That looks a lot better now, but still. 2-on-1, Quan on, can't do much. Pedeza. I hope I say your name correctly. There will be Hamish is just doing the South African Sevens versus Fiji Sevens. Versus Fiji Sevens now. So he's doing South Africa Sevens versus Fiji Sevens. And it's 28-5 in that game, which is not good. So who's come off for the Lions? So Henku van Wyk has come off for the Lions, number 13. And Gianni Lombard has come on. So I expect Kwanon to go on to the inside. I don't know. So Henku van Wyk has come off and Gianni Lombard has come on. I don't know who's playing away now because Gianni Lombard is usually at 10 or 15. I'm expecting Kwanon to go into midfield, or maybe Edwin KT into midfield. Sakabula. I'm Hanu. So I'm Anu. Hello to you guys. I'm just going like this first 15-14 minutes for Hamish because he's doing the South Africa versus Fiji game. I'm from South Africa and I support the Bulls, as you guys can see with this kit. And so, unfortunately, it's not going good. With the score, it is 7-17. So it does say 5, but the conversion was good. Nice to meet you guys. Crystal delivery from top of the lineup. Yeah, no, it was really good. No, it was a good move there, but I feel like it was a try out of nothing almost, because it wasn't like we brought up faces and then we scored a try. It was like a try out of nothing almost. Bit of space and we scored a try. But I guess that's how you make the tries and you win the games, really. So Fiji winning this game means they probably into the semi-finals in terms of the sevens. So yeah, Akker van Merwe with the line out. Reinhard Ludwig does really well there to claim it. They're trying more bit unsettled there, and now out wide Setman Hans. Chance out wide. Now Sravino Jacobs joins the attack, and he passes it inside, and Ambrose Papier will get his second of the game and the Bulls' second try. That is good quality rugby. That's what they call a good try. So good work off the line out, and it's 12-17. It will probably be 14-17. Good move from the Bulls, and we score. Probably should kick this over, but let's just wait and see. Because it's not from straight in front, it's straight in front, but a bit more towards the side. So anything can happen, but it should kick this over. That try, it almost looks like a replay, but it isn't. It's a try. It's really good work. It looks like a replay, almost with the 2-on-1 as well. So yeah, 2 tries for the Bulls, 2 tries for Emirates Papier, and the Bulls are right back in it. 2 tries in about the space of 5 minutes, and the Bulls are straight back in it. It seems like the fitness of the Lions are catching up to them, like that match fitness. So yeah, but really good work from the line out. Good hands by the Bulls. Stepman's hands, Johannes linking up, and it looked beautiful, man. Beautiful try. Now about 5 minutes, just a bit more than 5 minutes ago, till half time. The Bulls will look to clear this as they catch it. The Bulls now. Embrace Papier with a good clearance kick. I want to ask you guys, what do you guys make of Embrace Papier as he kicks this ball away? What do you guys think he's a future Bok or to go back into the system? But I will leave you guys with that, as there is a line on the 10-meter line. Thank you guys for allowing me to do this. Thank you, Amish. And he will come jump now over again. And I will see you guys very soon, hopefully. In the chat, I will probably see you guys. So yeah, take care, people. See you all.
There we go. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all doing well. And a massive, I didn't mean to clap there, but a massive thank you to Hano for popping on for the stream. It's been an eventful time while I was away. I was keeping an eye on it in the corner of my eye. Saw the Lions leading by 17 points. Then from there, we saw the Bulls start that comeback, currently sitting 14 points to 17 with a rolling maul here for the Lions, 40 metres out from the try line. But yeah, an intriguing type of matchup, just shaping up and almost breaking the line again. There was the young Bronson Mills for this Lions team. It looks like maybe an injury and back play for one of the Bulls players too. Awkward bouncing ball, beautifully slapped back, but not quite claimed by Killian Peku. I do see that the Lions number 23 is on. I miss seeing who Lombard made his way on for. But hopefully we'll be able to get that information too. But now going back across to the right-hand side, Kwan Horn, little kick attempted in behind. Chance out wide. That's beautifully done by Jared Ken, showing a bit of aggression in the way that he grabbed that ball. Almost a little bit of complacency there from the Bulls in the way that they claimed that one. And that is now going to make the score 22 points to 14 in favour of the Lions. Do you think Stormers will be able to topple Munster? Munster team is absolutely stacked for the match. It's going to be a tough game. Like, I honestly do think that one could easily go either way. But I think the Stormers have enough X factor that if they really get the rhythm going, they could have a very strong matchup up against Munster. But to beat Munster at Thorntman Park is pretty tricky. Hinko van Wyk went off. Oh, that was the shoulder injury, wasn't it? And David Kriel went off. That's a shame. I would have loved to see Kriel out there a little bit longer. So Stephen Hans came on. A little bit of an injury problem for both of these sides. But now Chris Smith ready to line up this kick. And does just pull it away to the left-hand side. We see one of the Bulls players still dealing with a bit of an injury at the moment. And that's the last thing that these two sides would have been wanting heading into that Champions Cup, having a whole heap of injuries all throughout the place. But now ready for will be another kickoff. And right, I've been asleep, says Pads are there. And I hear you joining the Stormers. Am I? I did not know that. But to be fair, I do like their kit, so it'll be all right. Take care, all be safe, and yes, says Pads. So we will see you later on, and this will go down to the wire, says Miami Rocket. Just like I thought the match between South Africa and Fiji in the sevens would, but surprisingly, not quite. And their contest all passed across from Frankie Horton. Now Chris Smith getting ready to kick this one towards the sideline. And does get that ball into touch. 1 second, we'll go like that. And we will go like that as well. Just the 2 minutes before the halftime break. Of course, it's going to feel like it absolutely flew by for myself, mainly because of the fact that I wasn't here for half of the half. But it seemed like I missed a few big moments throughout the contest. Now, what I will also do, ladies and gents, for anyone who wasn't sure who that was Haino. He has been helping us out a little bit on the channel every once in a while, but also you guys do see him in the chat all the time. If you want to check out his channel, I have just put the link in the comments. And now there's going to be the advantage for 12 being offside. That is against Bronson Mills, so the ball in the hands of Akafuna. What's your favourite team? I honestly don't have a favourite South African side. I just love watching them all play. And I'm too indecisive to be able to pick a favourite. I'll break a thought. Oh, it's another injury here. That looks like maybe, I want to say it's Nothangu who's having a little bit of trouble. And thanks to keep well, Haino. See, here's DJ there too. Now just the 1 minute remaining, and the Bulls have got themselves the penalty. They're currently down by 8. Now Vili LaRue looks like he has got the possession, so he might think about kicking this one towards the sideline. Oh no, in fact it was actually Oosterhuizen who got cut open. Okay, referee's just coming over. He's saying, I've got a gash in my eyebrows, so they're just trying to tape it up or stop it from bleeding. And Cracker Half says HDB. Yeah, it's been thoroughly entertaining. The way that this match started too, I feel like this isn't the scoreline that people, or some were anticipating in this scenario. But that can only be a good thing. Just to recap, while we've got a bit of a stoppage here of the try scorers, we've seen Ambros Papia score himself the double for the Bulls. And then for the Lions, we've seen Killian Peku and also Nico Stain. They are the 2 try scorers. And then there was just the most recent try for Jared Kens as well. Lions score 15 plus. Says Joseph. Right, looks like that blood bin has been sorted with. So Vili LaRue getting ready to put this ball towards the sideline. Just saying there, a little bit messy for this first half between the two sides at times, but still some very good entertaining running rugby too. Oosterhuizen's got plenty of bandage on that head, pretty much over that eyebrow to stop it from getting out. Guys who won between Fiji and South Africa. So Fiji got themselves the win in that game, 28 points to 28-12 in the end. It was actually a really comfortable win for the Fijians after conceding first in the contest. So I don't think if you're playing Fiji in the sevens, you want to score first, because it seems to just fire them up. Ruan Fete and Sebastian de Klerk, really promising futures. Yeah, I was kind of hoping to see Sebastian de Klerk's name in the Springboks for the game up against the Welsh. The only tricky part was the fact that, of course, they were playing in South Africa rather than playing up north, where it would have been a bit easier to join up with the camp, as he was a standby player for the Boks. Now rolling ball shaping up here for Akafuna. Starting to move that little bit more in the right direction here for the Bulls. They are 5 metres out from the line. The Lions have to be very careful not to drag this one down, which they just have. Fundamovers over, and they will score again just before the halftime break. Thanks so much for allowing me to come on. Appreciate it. Hopefully the Bulls win. Says Haino, and they have just got themselves another try. Akafuna right at the end of the first half. This is going to be, if this kick goes over, a 1 point half separating these two sides. The 18 career tries for Akafuna. I've said this is the type of position the Bulls absolutely love being in, with that rolling maul on the cards. They just don't stop when they're that close. Just trying to do the maths here. This has actually been a really free-flowing half of rugby too. They did start at, I believe it was 14. When did they start this game? I can't even remember. No, they started at 1, sorry. So it's a 50-minute half. My bad. I was trying to do the maths in my head and it wasn't mathing. That makes more sense. Still, 50 minutes is pretty decent for a half of rugby. And that one's gone away to the right-hand side for Keegan Johannes. So 2 sides separated by 3 points heading into the halftime break. And thanks for sharing my channel. I'm probably doing the Sharks game for anyone interested. Says Haino there, in likelihood of another 6 tries in the second half. I'm not sure about 6 tries, but I think we're going to see at least 4. Yeah, both sides very clinical, says HDB. And yeah, the fact that after 10 minutes in this game, we were 0-0 in this contest. Then from there, the Lions able to get themselves the 3 points in the 11th minute. We didn't see a try till the 18th minute of the game. And as soon as one was scored, everyone decided that they were going to be scoring points. But what we will also do, ladies and gents, is there's still 7s going on at this point in time. Wow. France are beating Argentina 26-7 in that contest. That's huge. Because that now, what does that mean? That means that if France were to win, Argentina are pretty much out. But Argentina will be playing up against South Africa and can stop the South Africans from getting in there too. Who are you backing to win from here? I think in a close game at Loftus, you give it to the Bulls. But if the Lions can keep that lead of more than 8 points, score again just at the start of the second half and get that kind of lead, I think that they might be able to just hold on. 6-7. Says Schweepy. See, I coach a kids' cricket team, and they always say 6-7, and I hardly even know what it means, but they just say it constantly. So, yeah, that's just seems to be the thing that's going round. We've got, where is JC Pretorius? I think he's injured, isn't he, JC, for this game? Or else I would have had him playing up against the Bulls. I've had a lot of mistakes, 10+ turnovers against us and knock-ons. Says, I know, so yeah, that doesn't help. But if they can be clinical in that second half, it could make all the difference. I just realised, if France beat Fiji, then theoretically they could actually go through, Fiji could go through, and then South Africa and Argentina would miss out. That is really the pool of death for Pool A in the Dubai Sevens. I've given up on Argentina, even in Union, no hope. Says Katzenel. I got there, my motorbike has a 6-7 on it. Lately, all these kids been laughing at me. Yeah. It's kind of, I don't know what it would be. It's kind of my generation's, you know how it was, what's 9 + 10, 21? I guess it's that equivalent, but it seems to be a lot bigger. Second half, not a mile away from getting underway. I will mention, for anyone wondering what is happening in the near future for these two sides, for the Bulls next week, they are going head-to-head with Bordeaux. That is a tough game in the Champions Cup, but I'm sure they will be up for the challenge there. Then they have Northampton in the Champions Cup. Now, that game is away from home. The benefit that they've got for that game up against Bordeaux is the fact that they are playing at Loftus. It could make a huge difference for the outcome. Then a derby up against the Sharks, and then a derby up against the Stormers to close out 2025. For the Lions, they've got the Challenge Cup, so they are going head-to-head with Benetton, so pretty much a match that we would normally see in the URC. And then from there, Newcastle, that is away from home. Then the Stormers and the Sharks, so a couple more derbies. So pretty much just the side switching around. But they are working on a lot of derbies around Christmas time, just so that everyone is in the same country, so that they're able to go have that Christmas with the family and then go back rearing to go for the new year. But currently, France are leading up against Argentina 33-7. That is an insane scoreline at the moment. And the thing is, France got themselves the bonus point from their last game. So that actually puts them ahead of South Africa, theoretically, if they were to get themselves the upset up against the Fijians. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. We'll be keeping a close eye on it. In the later stages, Bulls draws, Scotland 22. What do you think of the new Sevens layout? I'll be honest, so far, in terms of close games, it's been good. I don't like the fact that we've only got 8 teams, though. Although I do enjoy the fact that we're going straight top 2 sides go to semi-final. But my opinion on it would be to go with 16 teams. 4 groups of 4. Top 2 from each group go through to the quarterfinals. That way you include Kenya, you include Samoa, you got the USA that would be in there, someone like a Germany who have been doing pretty well in their sevens, and it gives everyone just an opportunity. You know, there's some great sides, Canada for instance, who have been on the circuit for a long time that are no longer playing in the sevens. You look at Ireland, they've lost their sevens funding because of the fact that they got knocked out of the World Rugby Sevens circuit. So, yeah, I think that 16 teams work better. 8 sides at the moment for entertainment value, I think, is going to be big for the first few weeks. And then once everyone's gotten used to seeing everyone play each other, I think they'll get slightly sick of it. Or sick of it a little bit. Yeah, the sevens is tight. We saw last year, I think, at Dubai with Australia winning 2 games and missing out. Says Hayno. And good afternoon, Hamish. How's it? Trust you had a good week. It's been a busy old week. Even though there's been less international rugby, there's actually probably been more to do throughout this week than we normally would have. That travel looks brutal. Says Studs raised there. I wish URC had Pro 14 teams. And also, what time will South Africa versus Wales be starting? So that game is kicking off at 5:10 p.m. for you guys in South Africa, but we are actually starting at 4:10 p.m. We've got a whole hour's build-up for that matchup Be sure to get there nice and early. We're going to be talking all about the Springboks year in general, as well as the Welsh, and just have a look through and see what's been happening for these two sides and what is to come in the near future. 1 second, we're going to go like this. I'm going to go like this as well. Right, we are good to go. Waiting for the second half, and you don't give up on Argentina. I've been advocating their strength since 2000. They are a bit unruly, but they beat the Box in the championship game before. They have been showing better temperament, says Original Venom, and I agree. I think less teams has made it less global. Great chance of watching the USA, my home team, says Patrick. Yeah, and like they're talking about losing money from the 7th Circuit, but I would think losing sides like Kenya, who just brings so many people into the stands, like the atmosphere has not been the same at the Dubai Sevens. It's been all right, but not having a side like Kenya just seems to be completely different. And, you know, Samoa, for instance, like the fans that get behind those sides will travel anywhere around the world to be able to watch them. I think I'm watching in Dubai later is the Sail GP. This new format is ludicrous, says Katzenel. And also so many top teams missing out. Missed those 16 sevens days. Yeah, the good old days where, like, and that's the thing. We've been seeing more underdog sides get victories. And that's actually something that some people only watch the sevens for, because they want to see a side like Kenya beat New Zealand, or a side like Germany get a win over South Africa, if it ever was to happen, which it probably won't now because of the way that it is all set up. But, you know, people love to see those upsets and the ones that the crowd just all get behind the sides. But at the moment, we're witnessing a little bit of an upset here at Loftus. Currently a 3-point lead here for the Lions, heading into that second half, 22 points to 19 currently, the way that the score sits. The Ireland game against South Africa was in a state of confusion and disarray, the meaning of 6s and 7s, says Dan. Yeah, it was a pretty strange game to call overall. But hopefully this game between Wales and South Africa will be a little bit more smooth sailing. I did say it will be close. Says, I know you did. You did go Bulls by 3 as your prediction. And Uruguay had a solid team too. Absolutely. Like, there were so many sides. In fact, I would argue, looking at the 2024-25 and at LA, I would argue that every side that were there deserved to have, like, a decent shot of continuing playing on the 7th Circuit. I'm just going to find it here. For LA, you know, Kenya, I think they should still be on the circuit. Canada, Samoa, Germany, all deserve their spots. Uruguay, Ireland, Canada, I think I said. Portugal even. You know, they had a game up against the Samoans, 21 points to 12. Chuck them on the circuit again. I just don't see the reason behind not having 16 teams. And I guess it makes it easier getting all the sides to the same locations. And less games per se, but only one less for the sides, really. It's just more value for money for the people in the stands. You're also getting value for money for this game. We've just seen some of the highlights of the tries. Emirates Papier getting himself 2 tries so far. And then also for the Lions, they have managed to score the 3 tries. Aka Fundamerva, the other try scorer for the Bulls. Yeah, Emirates Papier just seems like he's going to be a very handy support runner in this contest in terms of right place, right time for it. I would say we're probably about 2 or 3 minutes away from the second half starting up in this matchup, ladies and gents. I'll go like that and like that as well. Yeah, the crowd's still enjoying it. And I feel like they're enjoying it much more now that the Bulls are slightly back into this contest. There was a stage when they were 17-0 down, which is a pretty concerning one. That would have taken them back to those Curry Cup games, the Bulls versus the fake Lions. So in that case, it sounds like you don't like either side. So who do you think is going to win, though, out of these two teams, Serenity? Do let me know. I know that coming into this game, the Lions were considered as, I believe, the biggest underdog of today, which is a little bit of an interesting one. Or at least they were maybe the second biggest underdog. I think that there was one other game of the URC that had a bigger favourite, and that was Edinburgh versus Ospreys. That game was $1 for Edinburgh, 15 for the Ospreys team. But every other game is relatively close on the betting margins. Glasgow versus Scarlets was about the same in terms of the kickoff and how the sides were ranked, but the Bulls supporters, they will want to see their side start to find some rhythm. Go with the Lions since they won a Super Rugby last. See there's serenity there. Yeah, they've gone all right so far. They've got some decent players off of their bench as well. Hassim Pede, an under-20 player who has been showing quite a bit of skill. Renzo Duplessis is there too. And Gianni Lombard already making his way onto the field. That was due to the injury of Henko van Wyk. Bit of a hit for the side. Just while we're at this halftime break, I just want to have a quick look at that Sevens game in the end. So at the end of that match, wow, that's 59-7 France beat Argentina. 59-7, how did they do that? They lost to Fiji, to South Africa, because they only scored 12 points. So obviously that just tells you how good South Africa's defence was in that game. I think that's probably the biggest one-sided game we're going to see possibly of the whole year. And can't believe how well the Lions are playing. It goes to show even fat girls get lucky. Is that because they have a heavier forward pack, Gary? And also was coached by the great Carlos Spencer. Did you know that? See serenity there? I did not know that, no. But there you go. Amish, who is your favourite South African team? Just from a pure personal perspective, I really don't have one. I enjoy watching all of them. I like the underdog status that the Lions kind of bring into their games. You know, they're nowhere near as stacked as the other teams, but still really put up a fight. I like the Stormers kit. I'd say that it's probably my favourite kit out of all of them. I enjoy watching the Sharks just because of that Springbok quality that is in the team, sometimes not replicating onto the URC field. And I do enjoy watching the Bulls, and for me, they are the most, I would say, dangerous South African side when they're playing their best rugby. The Wales win this year. If not, they should lose their funding. Says Gatsanel, we're talking about in the sevens because they are a part of Great Britain. And heavier forward back, says Schweppy, but they also did beat Japan twice this year, Gatsanel. But now, ready to take this kickoff. It is Chris Smith. We will get back underway. Wales beat Japan twice in the end too. We're back underway. 3 points separating these sides. It's going to be well taken by the Bulls just outside of their 22. Eldrick Lowe going to be making his way off of the bench for the Bulls, hopefully sooner rather than later. I'd love to see that man play about 40 minutes if he can. Soffontaine taken off the field. That is for Cheswell Huster, one of the great under-20 players. Trevino Jacobs going up for the ball. It's going to be loose. Look like a knock-on from Jacobs, but it is going to be play on just for now. Villy LaRue kicking it down the middle of the field, looking for a little bit of territory, and it does go inside of the Lions' 22-metre line. And Kieran Horn, plenty of time to be able to kick that one downfield and gets it into touch. About 38 metres out. He's not happy with where they have said that the ball went out. And Union, in Union, they have had 2 wins throughout this year, Wales, which isn't a huge amount, of course, but it's better than 0 wins like they had the year prior. I think they had all losses, didn't they? New Zealand lost to USA in the sevens. How about that women's sevens? Although men's been average, really. Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise, to be fair. Definitely with how New Zealand came out in their first game up against the French, who do look like a contender in the women's sevens for this week. There's so many good matches taking place in the sevens, and I am sad that so many of the games overlap, but we are going to be trying our best to cover as many of them as we can tomorrow. It's going to be the next time we get to cover the matches. But yeah, France versus USA and the women's just about to kick off. Now going back across to the left-hand side, Stefan Hans, tackled by Chris Smith. They're currently 30 metres out from the line here for the Bulls. Now, middle of the park. Oh, and Mros Papia looking for the pass into the hands of Tshak Vinny, who actually left it alone. Villy LaRue tries to pass on the outside. The Lions managing to take it back, or do they? It's a bit loose. It's going to be a knock-on call. Villy LaRue shouting at the referee. Now apologises and says, how about you check the TMO, though, because it wasn't off us. Okay, Villy LaRue has convinced the referee to check it. I don't know if either side knocked that ball on now looking at the replay. It looked like it was just bouncing around all over the place. Hamish, you are a spot. Who is your favourite South African team? Oh, sorry, you are on the spot. Who is your favourite South African team? I don't have one. It's plain and simple. I enjoy watching all these sides play. I don't even have a favourite New Zealand team. So there's no chance of me being able to pick a South African team as well. international players back in this URC? Kind of, but not really. We see a few guys have returned to their sides, predominantly the ones outside of the South African teams. They were going to have Andre Pollard playing, but he suffered an injury late, so it meant that he missed out. Is Charlotte Keswick playing for Australia? I don't think so. I think she's still injured from before that Women's World Cup. And also, did our Box lose any games on this tour? I was hoping New Zealand will have a perfect run, because then we all want to see South Africa versus New Zealand again. So South Africa at the moment are sitting 4 from 4. After this game up against Wales, they can sit 5 from 5 if they do get themselves another victory. Currently 3 scrums apiece at the moment. Got to go with the Canes in New Zealand. See a Schweppy there. I do like the Canes kit the best out of any side. I actually own a Hurricanes kit, although I do have a Chiefs kit as well. I think that's all the kits that I have from Super Rugby. Now putting the ball in for Ambrose Papier. Holding strong, going off to the right-hand side. Ambrose Papier finds the hands of Trevino Jenkins, but straight in the breakdown. Trying to get the steal, but did lose his footing for Bronson Mills. Going to be penalised. This is an easy 3 points that the Bulls wanted. It would get them back into this contest. A little bit of inexperience there from Bronson Mills. Trying to get the turnover and the breakdown that wasn't quite happening. Looks like the quick tap is the option that the Bulls want to go for. Don't let them lure you into the Bulls. Hamish says Ruby. However, there you have it. The Bulls is Hamish's favourite team. I don't think I said that. But out, sitting a couple metres out from the line, Ambrose Papier for the pass across. Another advantage against the Lions for ill discipline. Just getting a little bit offside near the try line. That is close to the being. Oh, in fact, there might have been either a knock-on or a try here. This was very close. And most women's team players did play for the Rugby World Cup. Why is that? Isn't that bad for health and recovery? I mean, that competition was a wee while ago, though. But I think it just comes down to the fact that the opportunity was there. You know, it's a little bit similar to what we saw for the likes of an Antoine Dupont. You know, he was playing in the 15th, same with Hugo Keenan, and then the opportunity came to play in the 7s, and rather than spending that time recovering, they went in and they represented their countries. We have got the South Africa versus average teams in the recent tours compared to New Zealand even prior to Four Nations. They've been versus trash teams. Now sitting 5 metres out from the line. It's going to be the ball for the Lions. So just that drop ball as he tried to score for Francois Kloppe. He was very close. Just as that ball knocked out of his hands at the last moment. The French women are leading over the USA at the moment, 5-0 in the 7s, for anyone wondering about that competition too. Now ready to feed it in. Big push from the Lions. Huge push from their over 900 kg forward pack. And now Nico Staney hanging on to that one for a little bit too long. Pressure on from Yandre Rudolph. Then we'll go back for the penalty. Playing 7s, union and clubs seems excessive. Says Katzenau, yeah, but I guess if the money's right and you're still feeling good, like you don't see it too often that a player overworks himself to injury because they've taken on the 7s as well. In fact, it actually does seem to help with a lot of guys and their fitness. So that's one bonus. It's Hamish, not Hamish. And there says Ruby. Although he did say Hamish, didn't he? I see it as Hamish. Unless it was earlier on that he said otherwise. Maybe? No, I think he had the H. Now ready to throw this one in for the Lions. Sitting here 35 metres or so out from their own try line. We're up to 46 minutes through in this contest. That next live stream that we are doing on the channel will be starting in 1 hour's time. And that is going to give us a full hour build-up of that next contest. So anyone who is new, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That's going to be nicely taken by the Lions. Again, big collision with Ruan Fenter. Like they've said there, good bravery from Robillard to just take that shot on the chin. And I meant that's why you're not a Bulls supporter. Oh, I see. Oh, that's a knock on. Oh, sorry, knocked backwards by the Bulls. In fact, it ends up being, that looked a little bit high. And it will be the penalty against Kyoan Horn. Right, the Lions are going to get themselves in trouble here. Their ill discipline is starting to cost them. And that is the type of thing that you can't afford to do up against this Bulls team. Because the more you end up doing that, the more chance you give them to get back into the fixture and find themselves a lead. Villy LaRue kicks that one into Dutch, gets some decent distance on it as well. And how about playing League and Union and club. If you think Sevens, Union, and club is excessive, Sonny Bill, Big Dog, the king of Cross International, says Serenity. Yeah, there is the Rugby League World Cup coming just around the corner. There are talks of players potentially coming over to Rugby Union at some stage from the Rugby League side of things, but whether or not that does happen, we will have to wait and see. R360 also seems like it's been put on hold for a little bit of time. We're now looking to get this one moving here. Bulls been told to use it once at rolling maul time. Aka Whanamerva already scoring himself 1 try off the maul today. And building this one towards the second, going straight through. No, never mind, not through the middle there for Oosthuizen. And it is another penalty against the Lions. I want to say there's about 5 penalties against them. Whereas Rugby League World Cup being played, it's actually in Australia. I'm very happy with where the next World Cups are. Rugby League in Australia, and then Rugby Union World Cup in Australia too. So like time zones are going to be so nice because I'm used to doing the all-nighters. I mean, it's currently 2:11 a.m. here in New Zealand. So the good news is in 2026 and 2027, we might get a decent night's sleep at some stage. Now a rolling maul chance here again for Aka Whanamerva, the Lions. They have got the bigger forward pack, but they haven't been defending well off these rolling mauls. And actually strongest after compliments. The kits of others, that's going to be close to the try line. I said that they can be the strongest. But that doesn't mean they're my favourite. That just says that they are the strongest team when they get it right. Which currently they haven't quite done throughout this match, although they are starting to build into it again. Now going off to the left-hand side. Now Papia pops it across there into the hands of Tushak Wine in the middle of the field. That's a great steal from Etene Oosthuizen. And that is a crucial time to be able to get that position. 5 metres out from his own line. Oh. Okay, and the Bulls said something, so they've been March 10. Australia has a keeping the schedule problem. The games that should start at 3, start at 3:15. Yeah, they're not very good at keeping it on schedule, but they try their... Well, they don't really try their best. She's getting on my nerves, says Hey No there. She obviously got on one of the Bulls players' nerves too, because they had a bit of a shout at her, and then they got marched forward. I think it was almost marched forward closer to about 12 or 13 metres rather than the 10. We see it there, Tijak Vene in the breakdown. Yeah, there wasn't much of a roll away from SJ Kurtzia, although locking over that ball very quickly. And we have got there, why does South Africa not want to play league over the last 100 years? It's a mean game, bro, arguably better than Kiwis, or that Kiwi Samoa game recently, one of the best games recently. It's because if you play league in South Africa, you do get banned from playing union. I think even now it is still the rule. But that's the reason why you didn't see rugby league take off about 10, 15 years ago in South Africa, was because if you did end up going to league, you were told you were never allowed to play rugby union again. So they pretty much kind of blackmailed the players to stay in union, and I mean, it's worked out for the better in some regards. The South African side almost getting through to that Rugby League World Cup, although they haven't been... Oh, that's a good kick. That's a great kick. 50-22 for the Lions there. Brilliant kick from the youngster Bronson Mills. But yeah, they almost qualified through pretty much having no funding. They had to do the fundraising themselves to be able to even take on the Cook Islands in the Rugby League qualification. Great kick, says Studs Race. Banned. It's a little bit similar to the R360, how teams are saying, in the NRL in particular, they're saying if you go to R360, you're banned for 10 years from playing rugby league. Or at least in the NRL. Well, that is dumb. People should be able to choose or do both. But yeah, I think it was because at that time they really wanted union to be the one that was thriving. And then it's kind of never changed at this point in time. The Bulls keep playing like this. The champions of Europe will smash them next week. Yeah, I'm curious to see what type of side they actually bring to South Africa for Bordeaux. You'd assume that they go relatively strong, but at the same time, they may go, look, we're going to be in the top 4 or 5 of our group anyway, so we might as well take it a little bit easier. Looks like Yandre Rudolph is now a bleeding eyebrow. We've seen a few of those throughout the matches. And we didn't know South Africans are such communists, says Katzenel. Right, going down the tunnel. He wants to get strapped up as quickly as possible. And that is going to bring out Cobus Visa. They're actually waiting a little bit longer to give Eldrick Lowe the chance. League in a nutshell. Get tackled, get tackled, get tackled. Kick the ball, rinse, repeat. Yeah, but it's one of those ones that can be very entertaining. I thoroughly enjoy covering the Pacific Nations Cup on the channel for it. Or the Pacific Championship, sorry. And we are definitely going to be covering that Rugby League World Cup short side. Oh, was that truck and trailer for Ustays? And that kind of looked like maybe Mornay Brandon was trying to take the ball off him in front of him. They may just check to make sure that this grounding is all right for Oosterhuizen. But that is his second career try, the big man. Up the front, I see the Stormers are top of the log. Good to see us having a side on top, although that can change this game or this round because Munster are playing the Stormers, so whoever wins that game, they will be top of the bunch. When I was kid in New Zealand, my school didn't allow to play both rugby and league. Stupid rules, stupid school. Now has a fantastic league team. Says Studs Race. Yeah, it's kind of league's almost the... I don't know, it's the problem child of the sporting world, it seems, or at least in the rugby world. You know, people are happy enough to see guys go from sevens to union, but as soon as you say league, they go, nah, that's not allowed. That's league, union, two different games, both worth a watch. Says DJ, and that one's coming round for Chris Smith, gets it over. Makes the score now 29-19. And incorrectly is the only word. When spelled correctly, spells incorrectly. Says Dame Set Match. Hello, Damo. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying the 7 so far. Oh, no. It's actually not going to be Ustays, and I don't believe. I think that may have been Mornay Brandon, who did have his hands on that ball at the time of grounding. In fact, I think both of them did, so they probably will give it to Ustays, just as a bit of a there he goes. And fair enough, my Lions neighbours are making it difficult today, says Dan, and that's a good kick downfield from the Lions. Yes, I see Munster also on 23 points with the Stormers. And get in there, Lions. Their Studs Race there too. Already 53 minutes through in this contest. And 29-19. The way that it sits, our bench needs to bring a huge impact. Says Hano, yeah, the likes of an Eldrick Lowe. We see Cobus Vesa out there at the moment. That is due to the blood bin of Yandre Rudolph. See, I think I would have had Eldrick Lowe on already. To be honest. Is that him there? Oh. The collision. No, that's actually still Ajay van Heeren. Yeah, I would get Lowe out there. The only concern, I guess, is whether or not he is ready. But if he wasn't ready, they shouldn't have him off the bench. You want someone who's going to be able to go out there and just give you 150% from the get-go. Bruce Papier told to use it. They just need something to change. That's not league in a nutshell. That's how you could explain what South Africa does in union. Keep it in the forwards, whereas you can't do rolling mauls in league. Says Serenity, and plenty of time left, says DJ. There is indeed, and another great kick from the Lions. Almost getting another 50-22, but Willie LaRue at the back offloads the ball on the outside to Keegan Johannes. Are these teams also going for a bomb squad, or is it just a Bok thing? No, these guys are going for the... I believe both sides have gone for the... Oh, Lions may have actually gone for a 6-2, sorry. Oh, knock on from the Lions. Cleaned up by Ludwig. Loose ball. I'll go back for the penalty. Remember to lose. Send a strong side to South Africa. So they might. DuPont returns versus Racing 92. It's round of the top 14. Yeah, I know a lot of people are excited about seeing that. Where can I watch this online? It is on URC TV. As your best bet. And Stormers, I believe, went 6-2. Or Stormers, I believe they've got 5-3 because they got Paul DeVette. But Renzo Duplessis, he is a forward, isn't he? And then Kwama is also, I think, forward. Yeah, so 6-2 for the Lions in this game. However, their legend, thank you. I will mention it is not free, though. That is the one slight downside. Like, they have match pass and a season pass. When you do the maths of the season pass, it works out to be maybe about $2 a match, or maybe even less than that. So it is definitely well worth it if this is a competition you want to follow and be able to watch live games as well as the replays. It's basically all the good stuff. What New Zealand likes in Union and plays big hits, faster games, says Serenity. Yeah, that World Cup in 2026, I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. That Pacific Championship, championship, covering it, like, it just got me way back into league, and I'm looking forward to the NRL now when it does come around. We don't normally cover much of it on the channel, but we'll try and do a few games perhaps this year, or next year, I should say. Another free kick going the way of the Bulls. It looks like Keegan Johannes ready to kick this one downfield. It's just outside of the 22, so this one cannot find touch. I'm trying to get into soccer, but I'm struggling, says Xander. it's one of those ones that you either like it or you don't, I think. And at the end of the day, if you don't like it, 90 minutes is a long time to watch 1 or 2 goals. Like, if you enjoy the fundamentals and the little intricate moments of it, it can be, oh, what a run that is from Mornay Brandon up to the halfway line. And it just seems like they aren't letting up at the moment. They're going looking for a 50-22. Oh, well done. At the back from Keegan Johannes, some sharp skills there. It's the Warriors year next year again. Says Damon, that one's going to be kicked in a touch by the Bulls, who are losing the territory battle at the moment up against the Lions. Well, isn't it amazing? Says Pleasant Tees. And question who is out centres. Ackerman has taken both off. Says Haino. So I believe what would have happened is I think Stravino Jacobs has gone into the midfield looking at where he's been attacking from. And then Stedman Hahn's in there too. Oh, the foot was on the line. He was in possession of the ball, so it's actually going to be a line out inside of the 22 of the Bulls. Now a derby changes the play. Will you cover the Winter Olympics in Milan? Possibly not. I don't think there's any sports that we actually cover on the channel consistently that are taking place in the Winter Olympics. Like, we could do a couple fun just watch-alongs of random games, depending on the scheduling and everything like that. Mind-boggling these subs, says Haino. I'm still waiting for Eldrick Lowe. And once again, if he is not 100% enough to play 23 minutes at the end of this game, should they have gone with someone else off the bench? I feel like he could be a game changer. Those breakdowns, his running game. I think he just has to be out there. So everyone could kill it with big props. Guys like Colby and Sasha. Yeah, I think they'd have a really strong rugby league team if they did give it a bit of a go. Aussie smashed England in the Rugby League Ashes 3-0. Yeah, it wasn't quite the hopes that people wanted to see for that series. I think Australia kind of sucked the wind out of the sails right from the get-go with that big win in the first test. Right, this sounds like more subs. Oh no, it sounds like it's actually going to be a jersey change here. Right, time is off at the moment. They are just getting those jerseys switched. I can't imagine Hamish commentating a soccer match. I think he would end up talking rugby. We actually have covered a football match way back in the day. Like, we're talking years. I think. In fact, I've covered 2 or 3. I'm going to have a quick look while we've got this stoppage. We'll go like that. What have we covered on the channel? Okay, this looks like it's actually going to be harder. I thought that I'd be able to find it, but I have not. But I think we covered All Whites game up against Australia, and also maybe a game of like the Premier League or Champions Cup or something like that it might have been. Right, changes just about to be made. I didn't see Eldrick Lowe. Is Eldrick Lowe in the team still? Or am I getting my players confused? Surely it would have brought him on by now, wouldn't they? He Aussie did. But I favour Kiwi squad over Aussie at the moment. Be a good game though. Says Serenity. Now just the 23 minutes remaining on the clock. More subs rolling onto the field here. Like they're saying, a few tactical replacements now taking place. I only watch soccer and World Cups, says Dan. Oh no, there he is, Eldrick Lowe. Making his way on now. The crowd will be very happy to see him. Did you see New Zealand women lost to USA? Bit of a surprise? Yeah, I did. It's been a couple upsets already. I think that the biggest upset so far has been France beating Argentina by about 50 points. That one was one that I wasn't expecting. Now Eldrick Lowe is on the bench. Yep, he's just made his way onto the field. Number 11, we got there, Starving Jacobs. Is it? Where is it? Oh, yeah, it is. The spelling error there. I know that will annoy Haino big time. We have got there on the same, says Pleasant Tees. Do you reckon, or who do you reckon has bigger hits, Union or NFL? Probably NFL. Because with the padding and the helmets, it means that you can get away with putting in a little bit more emphasis on your shots. because you're less likely to injure yourself, even though they still injure themselves quite often in there. But like, there's still some huge hits in rugby union. It's just very hard to be able to get a big shot in union without it getting checked nowadays. Next game of the sevens, I believe, is taking place in 1 minute's time. That will be New Zealand women versus Fiji. Their hits are insane, Serenity, but now the ball in the hands of the Lions. Kick downfield. Waiting for this one. Nicely taken by Cheswell Eustace, showing the pace right from the get-go. Bumps off one, tries to offload to Billy LaRue, and it's a loose ball claimed back by the Lions. That's a knock-on from the youngster Gianni Lompard. Around the halfway line, it will now be the Bulls Scrum. The NFL players are very scared of playing rugby, says Albert. Well, it's just different, isn't it? You know, if you grow up playing NFL or American football your whole life, learning the new fundamentals of rugby, including the breakdown, like even, I could guarantee you now, at least 50% of the players who are out there on the field don't actually know all the laws. Because some of the stuff that they ask for penalties for, like, they're completely wrong. I think most sane people are scared of playing rugby, says JP. Yeah, you got to be a special kind of, I don't even know what you'd say to play rugby. It's not the best thing for your body. All these guys end up having many problems by the time they're 40 or 50, but they love it at the time, and that's the main thing. Now ready to go for the scrum feed. And that's terrible rugby, so many knock-ons, says Albert. There's been a lot throughout this game. I remember when Nuss and another player went over to play NFL and found it boring, says Pleasant Tees. Yeah, we've seen a couple of successful guys go from rugby union into the rugby leagues, or sorry, not rugby league, rugby or NFL side of things. Right, looks like we got another stoppage. Conditioning, bro. If you're born into playing from 5, easy game like anything. Right, what's going on here? It looks like they've done some sort of TMO check. Oh, well, there you go. That's a bit of dumb maths. The Bulls have just been penalised for having too many players on the field. How does that even happen? Our worst game I never saw was the one, or was the last one you commented? I think it was Tonga that drew. Shocking game that. Says Noah Berry. So worst game you ever saw was the last one you commentated. I think it was Tonga. Was that Tonga Scotland, that game? Oh, no, I know the one. Samoa versus Belgium's the one you're talking about, Noah. In that Rugby World Cup qualifier, 13-13, Reece Zammit did it, went to the NFL and then came back. And yeah, like, he actually did extremely well. Like, I know that a lot of people like to give him a bit of stick for not getting into the main teams, but like, he made a squad, he got the opportunity, and just never quite made it in. But it was a massive learning experience for him. It was his dream to go into the NFL, and he managed to do it, so good on him. I think we're seeing other guys follow suit. Jordan Pataya, a player from Australia who's doing the same. I started playing union at 5 all the way to 21. I only had 1 year off. And once you know the routes and how the game flows easily, especially in the backs, really just waiting for the ball covering space. I love your commentary, but holy hell, Tonga was shocking. So many knock-ons. Or Samoa. And that one, what a joke from the management. Yeah, I don't know how you can manage to have more players on the field than 15 and not realise. Like, that's something you just never see. Now, 21 minutes left. The second half has felt like a long time, ladies and gentlemen. There's been a lot of stoppages throughout it. Now ready to throw the ball in for this Lions team. Nicely taken by Kjuan Horn. If you think Lions is going to win, say aye. Says Yako. But now moving forward. In the hands of Mornay Brandon. They're actually going backwards and sideways here in the rolling maul. Good bit of work in the breakdown from Sebastian de Klerk trying to get the steal but couldn't quite get it. The ball's still looking for it. I believe that was actually Woma. Now back across to the left-hand side. Starting to lose meters here again. When you see all these rugby players, Kiwi lads, who do you think will suit it? Wait. When you see all these rugby players, Kiwi lads, who do you think will suit it? suit it? What suit what? As in, like, who do I think will suit, like, being an NFL player, I assume that is, right? It's a tricky one because it depends on the position in the NFL as well. Bulls defense are increasing the intensity a little bit, but they haven't done very well with the ball in hand so far, the Bulls. Lucy and Union, though, are running all day, chasing breakdowns. Yeah, if you haven't played and gone to playing 6, 7, and 8, you're going to be rough. And like playing in the NFL, you need someone who's athletic. Well, I always think of, like, I mean, some of those big guys in the 4-packs could probably go into the NFL, but then they'd be considered small in NFL. That's the type of size of players over there. But in terms of like a running back or something like that, from out of these two sides, honestly, I think someone like a Sebastian Leclerc would probably go all right. Looking through at these starting lineups. A Henko van Wyk, if he wasn't injured, maybe as well. Just like that kind of build and the quickness. Do you think the average age of the South African squad is too high, considering we're only 2 years out from the World Cup? I don't think so. I think that there's plenty of time, and Rassi has done more experimentation this year than any other coach. So he's building nicely. He's got a squad of about 55 at the moment, heading towards that World Cup, whereas most sides at the moment only have a squad of about 25 that they're willing to use. I think Cheslin Colby will suit the NFL very well, says Nick, and 5 points to 7 in favour of the Fijians. Nice work there from Fijiana. The Box can win an NFL game without pads, says Ruby. And also, I think body damage over a career, soccer and cricket most rewarded in payment. Rugby is total sacrifice, says Dan there. Yeah, like that's the thing. You get one concussion and that can put you out. Like one of the other Kiwi lads, Isaac, he got knocked out playing rugby when he was probably about, I think he was 12 or something like that. And for the next probably decade of his life, he was having problems because of that one head knock. Like just because of the lasting effects of it. So like he'd get headaches all the time and it was all related to just getting knocked out that one time. So, there's a huge amount of respect that has to go to these players for the fact that they're willing to do it week in, week out. And I think a huge amount of respect as well to the lower level players because they aren't getting paid to get knocked out and get hit hard every single week. Now Scrum feed, and Burrows Papier ready to feed this ball in. Like I mentioned, this game's hit a grinding halt. It's not really going anywhere at this point in time. As a South African, I have lots of family. They played rugby when they were younger, but sustained serious injuries that made them quit it. Says JP, Peter Steph Totoy will destroy the NFL. Says Ruby. Right, another scrum reset. This game, I kind of joked about it taking 2 hours. It may actually take 2 hours. I go watch greatest hits in the NFL. Dudes get folded. Faster guys, bigger dudes. A very specified sport. They're just saying there, Eddie Davids is out there on the park as well. Playing number 17 in this match for the Lions. We're still waiting for the scrum. We've been waiting for the scrum for what feels like 5 minutes. I've changed channel to watch Black Ferns in Fiji. Reckon I only miss a few minutes. Then it starts racing. Yeah, I do see Black Ferns got themselves another try just then. We're going to score 12 points to 7. Big push at scrum time. Both popping up. Ball available off the back. And Burrows Papier trying to pass it to Eldrick Lowe. Tell you what, that's a phenomenal pickup from Cheswell Euster. Managed to somehow break his way through. Almost created the try-scoring opportunity for the Bulls. They're 25 metres out from the Lions line. They have not had a huge amount of chances in this game, but this is going to be one of them. Sebastian de Klerk thought about the inside ball. Fends Edwin Keita, now Straveno Jacobs. He's isolated on the outside. Stedman Hans back across to the right. Turn up the tempo for this last 20 minutes or so. Straveno, drop ball from Kobus Vesa. And that has summarised the day for the Bulls at the moment. It is kicked downfield from Frankie Horn here. Huge amount of space and it becomes a foot race between Cheswell Euster and Kieran Horn. Picked up by Euster. Very nicely done by the youngster. It looks like it's going to turn into a rolling ball. They've been told to release him. They're not releasing him. Chris Smith rips it away. Bad listening from that man, and that is going to be another penalty to the Bulls. Most of the Springboks players will leave bodies all over. Like they will be so brutal in the NFL, says Nick. And can these guys please learn to catch a ball, says Haino. It's a bit similar to what we normally see for the Sharks players. You know, they come back from the Springboks and they drop the ball all the time. It's really not hard, says Haino there. Yeah, they need to touch the ground, so they did have to release him. Jim Carrey was my favourite Miami Dolphins player, says Cool Story. Now, another chance to kick this one downfield. New Zealand now leading a little bit more over Fijiana too, ladies and gents. The Sevens is just going quick as well. We're already up to, like, certain sides have played 3 games already for the women's side of things. In about 3 hours' time, we'll know who's playing in the semi-finals of the men's. And Laces out. Says Studs Race. They are just talking about who will get man of the match at the moment. Oh, it's a tricky one. Okay, it sounds like at the moment Sebastian de Klerk is considered the biggest favourite for being able to win man of the match. I bet the Bulls are missing Pollard, says Pleasant Tease. Yeah, they would have absolutely loved to have him out there on the field. Sadly, that late calf injury left him out of contention. I'm a Sharks fan. I can't wait for the Sharks versus Bulls, especially if the Bulls playing like this, says Nick. Although I have a feeling that if they're playing like this now, they will not play like that up against the Sharks. They seem to like to fire up for that game. A ball on the side of the Bulls yet again. And Bros Papia going across to the left-hand side. Stedman Hans, he breaks through the line looking for an offload. It was risky, but it has gone backwards. Sharks has a couple of international players, yet they are so awful, says Katzenell. And yes, I agree, says Pleasant Tease. Off to the right. Popping it in behind. Villy LaRue, wide cut-out pass. Finds the hands of Cheswell Justa again. He is showing up a few of the older players in this one, although just knocks it on the ground. It's been the story of the day at the moment. Still another 17 minutes remaining. You can see the frustration for this Bulls side as they know that they're just letting this one slip from their fingertips. But now it's 16 minutes. Looks like another player down this time. I want to say it is Ruan Fenta. Jay says a couple of international players, yet they are so awful. Says Katzenell and Zebra at the moment, 12-5 down up against Cardiff. And in fact, that time it was Reniard Nathaniel who was down, their second John Plumtree at the end of the season, which honestly I think he has to go now before it's too late. Says Nick, and wide receivers could slot into wing and Union. They'll be faster to sub 10. USA is fastest sevens player. Was that Perry Baker or Carla Niles? Who was the fastest? So know that both of those guys no longer playing, unfortunately, for the USA. And now USA not even in the main 7 circuit. My wife and I are arguing over your accent. What part of it are you arguing about? Are you trying to work out where it's from? Or just arguing in general? And someone needs to explain why Plumtree still got the Sharks gig. Seems a decent bloke. Says Studs Ray's a terrible ball. Carla Niles says Wemma. What it's a mix of. It is honestly just New Zealand. Sometimes when I talk quick, I get a little bit of Australian going. But I haven't got any Australian relatives. Terrible balls. They're playing an NFL touchdown. When you don't touch the ball down. It's a good question. My last comment, NFL, I don't like avbirds. I prefer watching sport for the sport. Says Ruby. Well, you must have hated some of the rugby union matches we've had recently. We've had some pretty long games, a 2-hour and 10-minute match. Something that we saw throughout November. What's your biggest injury? I haven't had any huge injuries. I've had like little ones here and there. Like I've had like lasting injuries throughout a season, but continued playing and hope for the best. And luckily they didn't lead to anything too major. But like, I think I broke a finger. Maybe. But I never went to the doctor for it. So it's a bit wonky now, but just kind of went, oh well, it's a bit painful, but it should be all right. So just didn't go. I know you can't declare a preference in any team, but I really appreciate your succulent and neutral commentary, says Robert. It's got me because you're pronouncing the names perfectly, but I hear the Kiwi now, says Noah. Now that one's going to be fed in again by Nico Stain. 15 minutes left on the clock here in this contest. Mills with the short ball. The hands of Killian Peku. Trying to find his way through. If they can score right now, the Lions, they will win this game, and they've already got themselves a bonus point too. All close to the sideline for Cheswell Euster. Another step from him. He breaks through. Tell you what, he might get man of the match at this point in time, but his passing hasn't quite been up to par. He manages to take that ball back. Now, Willy LaRue. And across to the right-hand side, kicking Johannes. Another one. Condolences to your wonky finger, says Story. Oh, big bump off from Cobus. Vesey's dropped the ball again. I don't think I've seen him take a carry without dropping it so far this game, Cobus Vesa. Now Lombard gets it on the inside to Chris Smith. And I'll say it again, this has to be frustrating for the Bulls. Like, it's just not good. You know? I apologise, missing your France and South Africa coverage who won. So we did see 15 points to 12 in favour of South Africa. But then from there, they did lose their game to Fiji. So they do need the victory over Argentina to book themselves a chance at a final. I'm delighted that the R360 is put on hold. I'm hoping it goes away permanently. Says Robert. That's exactly why your commentary overrides everything, Hamish. You are ad-free. You know a few things about rugby, says Ruby. That's kind of, or that's why it's kind of better. If you're just chilling with mates, can you get on the beers longer, says Serenity. And Georgia Miller. Another shimmy through, no gap for a try. Turnovers lost, Bulls 14, yeah. It is brutal. A huge amount of stoppages throughout this game as well. It probably hasn't been the best representation of South African rugby, I have to say. We'll put it down to rust and the fact that these two sides haven't been together for a good month or so. Yeah, looks like it might have just been the stinger there. And Stephen Old Sevens legend. Says Dan. Right, no advantage, so they are going back to the scrum now. In this case, currently 14 minutes still remaining on the clock in this game. Like I said, it's been a drag in terms of the second half. They just don't seem to be able to find any sort of decent rhythm. And a month rust, says Philip there. And obviously the Bulls have a habit of scoring 21 points in the last 20 minutes. Yeah, they still have a chance of coming back in this game. But it hasn't been a very eventful half. I have to say, any time that, in fact, the most eventful time was when Haino was doing the commentary earlier. Is this the start of the URC or the end? Midway. They just had a break because of the November internationals, meaning that a lot of guys were unavailable. But Renzo Duplessis, he makes his way onto the field now. Hamish knows more than most. The Bulls can still pull it off. Who do you think will be an ideal replacement? I actually don't know. And the thing is, if he starts off rough, people probably going to want to sack him before he even gets going. Now off to the left-hand side, and he goes Stain. They've decided to give Hassan Bede very limited minutes. At the end of this one, dropping down there was Kjuan Horn. Cheswell Euster getting in that breakdown again, causing problems. Killian Peku tackled a little bit high there. The Bulls looking for the steal. They're told to get out of it. This is where they do need Rua Nokia for the Bulls. Someone with that kind of experience and a little bit of leadership would go a long way out there on the field for the Bulls at the moment. They just seem like they're going through the motions, but not getting much back. Knock on from Billy LaRue. Accidental offside from the Bulls as well. And 31-12 for New Zealand. So that should book them through to the semi-finals, I believe. In fact, there's only a couple more women's matches, aren't there, Novmum? Before we get into knowing exactly who's playing who for their semi-finals. I think that's correct anyway. Yeah, the women's, we've got Canada versus Japan and Australia versus Great Britain. Those are the two games remaining. Hey, Ruby, what up? Says Philip. Yeah, there's the accidental offside against the Lions once more. Against the Bulls once more. And this is where we do see the Lions decide to kick for the 3. So our third games of Pool B. Yeah, so the 2 matches. And then from there, we're good to go. We'll find out who's playing who. Lions jaws on the Bulls' neck, suffocating. Says Dan's. Yeah, they just, I don't know, they can't get going in this match. It's got to be a frustrating one for the Bulls again. You're the best rugby commentator on YouTube. Thanks so much for your amazing work. I really appreciate it. Keep it up, says Nick. And we have got plenty more coming in the near future. Oh, 5 seconds remaining. That was a bit of an interesting one. And he's missed away to the side. So pretty much what happened was the man who was holding the ball on the kicking tee let it fall off, put it back on for the kicker, and Kieran Horn, or in fact, sorry, for Chris Smith. And then Chris Smith had about 5 seconds remaining. Now, that is the one downside of trying to stall and use up time. Is had he not done that, he would have still had 30 seconds to be able to take that kick and would have been completely fine, would have lined it up and done all right. Oh, it's a hard collision there again. Oh, okay, that might be a concussion again for another Bulls player. He took a nasty head knock, now passed on the outside. Renzo Duplessis with a big thin Yandre Rudolph going in a little bit too high. 25 metres out from the line now for the Lions. Chris Smith, attack and run. This could be the big chance. They just need to offload. There was a tackle off the ball from the Bulls, but it's called as a knock-on instead. You decide what European Cup games you're going to cover, says Sean. Not completely. It's a little bit of a tricky one because the team that I coach for junior cricket, they've actually made it through to the semi-finals. And they're going to be playing tomorrow, or not tomorrow, sorry, on Saturday at 9 a.m. New Zealand time. So it's a situation of I either have to find a replacement for me at the cricket, or we don't get to probably do that game. It's a bit of a tricky one to decide just at this point, but I'll work it out. From there, we're going to be doing Bulls, Bordeaux, and Leinster Harlequins, I believe, even though La Rochelle Leicester is probably going to be a great game too. And then after that, I think Toulouse Sharks. That might be all on Monday, to be fair. I don't know. We'll see what's happening in terms of, because we've got to remember there are sevens matches on as well for the Cape Town Sevens, so those games will overlap as well. So it's going to be a hectic one, so I have to try and adjust it. We are bad, Hamish. Says, hey, no, Bulls used to be one of the top teams in Super. From what I remember, Bulls and Sharks, is that right? That is true. Yeah, they did do very well. This derby is so personal because there's a former Bulls player kicking for the Lions. Full-time 31-12. Now, big push at scrum time. Another scrum reset. Still 10 minutes left in this game. Definitely, I mean, replay of the first half would be entertaining to watch. I don't think many people will be sitting down to watch the second half of this one again. Keep going, the Lions. You're helping out Leinster, says Mr. Michael. Still the 10 to go. Can't even blame it all on Ackerman because the players are making idiotic mistakes, says Haino. Yeah, it's just been a long second half. How long are we at? We're probably at about 44, probably about 44 minutes for the first 30 minutes of the second half. I'm so happy that the Bulls are losing because I'm a Sharks fan. I don't like the Bulls, says Nick. And is that where Rico gone Leinster? He has gone to Leinster, yep. And we have got there anyone else having issues with URC TV? Mine has just reached a spiral spinny stage. So I am going to try and refresh and hopefully it does end up working. But yeah, just in that last about 30 seconds it decided to cut out. So I haven't actually got eyes on the game. We have got that question. How the hell was the USA try was allowed when she lost it on the way down? I haven't actually seen that try yet, so I can't really comment on it. But yeah, it seems like URC TV are having a few technical difficulties. It's down for me too. Says Yanko, must be a lot of people trying to tune in for the final 10 minutes of this matchup. But yeah, for me it's a blank screen and then every once in a while it's got a little spinny icon. Oh, it might be back now, is it? Okay, it's back, but it's a little bit glitchy. And tell you what, Edwin Keita's just scored for the Lions. I got a half little glimpse of him scoring. So that will be the game. And the Lions, well, they will win this match. But I know that the Bulls are going to be up for a game against the Sharks, so I'm hyped for it. Come on, the Sharks. Says Nick there. How iconic. Or ironic. USA beat Black Ferns, but don't go through to the semis. Says Nov Mum. I wouldn't say it's ironic. It's just unlucky for the US. Now using up all the seconds again, Chris Smith. And this time does get it over, making the score 36-19. Sevens are more important than the URC, says Kiwi Rob. Well, you'll be able to watch them anyway. And checkmate, the Lions raw tonight, says Serenity. And that's the bonus of having multiple TV channels, isn't it? You can kind of switch between the two, watching all of them, the international rugby just around the corner, but I'll be keeping an eye on the sevens. The USA don't deserve to go through, says Kiwi Rob, and yay, Lions, your beauty, says Stephanie. Nicely taken. Nice little shuffle there. Beautiful offload. Renzo Duplessis going through again here for the Lions. So it's a good tackle made by Villy LaRue, although getting straight back up for Duplessis. Now offload Lombard. Going to Bronson Mills. It seems like the Lions have found another gear here. Now another offload. Killian Peku, 2 big fans. Offloads one more. And it's a try for Nico Stain. That will be another one. And the Lions making a statement here up against the Bulls. And even before, better now because Keite and he's a former Sharks player. And Lions, your beauty, Jinx, get in there. Says Studs race. Second try for Nico Stain, and each the Bulls losing it. Rough start to the rugby day. Yeah, I'll be honest, this game's nowhere near as close as I was kind of hoping. Like the odds had the Bulls to win this game by 14, but they'll be lucky if they lose this game by 14, the way that they are going. It's just the offloading, and the Bulls are falling apart. We'll call it there, says Noah. And there as well, yeah, they are just scoring for fun now, this Lions side. Still with another 6 minutes remaining on the clock as well. You're a legend as always, thanks again, mate. Says Noah Berry, how many Springboks were released for the URC? Very few. Mainly for the sides outside of South Africa. So, like, in terms of this Bulls and Lions lineup, none of their players were in the Springbok squad. Andre Pollard was released, but he has picked up a calf injury, so he didn't play in this match. For the Sharks and the Stormers, there's not a massive amount for either of those sides either. But it's mainly the guys who were from Japan or from that Japanese league. They were released, and then also Argis Neyman, Thomas Tatoi, and Boan Finta. Are you doing commentary for the Boxers as well? We certainly are. We've also got an hour build-up for that matchup, so be sure to stick around for that one. That is going to be starting in 18 minutes' time. That is going to be a knock-on now, so Bulls have got themselves a scrum, and they can still get themselves a bonus point from this match if they do get themselves one more try. And the Lions reach 50. It's possible. And we have got their country before club mentality. Says JP. Should be able to do a last drive win score once the season, says Serenity. And also we have got there, can the Lions reach 50? Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? Any idea what percent Sevens players move to 15s? It'd be quite a few, you look through it, even just like the Springboks, who has gone from that 7 side of things. A Quacker Smith, there's honestly such a list. Cheslin Colby, he was a 7s guy for quite some time. In terms of New Zealand, Artie Savia, the Ioane brothers, they were both 7s guys. Leroy Carter, he was a 7s guy. And Ackerman is useless so far, says Miami Rocker. And the Bulls, says James. Right, 31.2% have voted for Ambros Papier as man of the match here. Even though his side is losing at the moment by quite a massive margin. I'm not impressed with Braxton in 7s at the moment. We've got to remember, though, it is her first time in the 7 setup. Like, it's going to take time to be able to adjust, and that was actually something that Ellie Kildun said in one of her interviews. Breaking through. Andre Rudolph offloads to Keegan Johannes, and it might be the try. It may also be 4, but I think it's going to be all right, and that now gives them the bonus point in this game, the Bulls. Quaker was also a 7s guy, and Cullen says Dame said match, and it's mostly all the Japan-based players and some of the Premiership players have been released from the box camp. And Villy LaRue, international player, says Serenity, although he wasn't in the Springboks squad, their most recent one anyway. Grant Williams says JP. Yeah, that is true. Grant Williams, and also Edward van der Merwe was released, wasn't he? He went home, celebrated the birth of his child, and then headed up north, I think, for that match. Now 4 minutes remaining in this contest. Isn't a massive amount of time, but should be just enough to be able to get something going here. If you are the Bulls once more, that bonus point. They've at least got 1 point from this game, which can be absolutely crucial. The Lions score 8-7, says Joseph, and Clown showed a lot of them. Says Hayno there too, but currently 3 minutes remaining. Chris Smith kicks this one off high. Nicely taken. Do you think Dwayne will make a comeback against Wales today? Because Racy said he's on on standby if there's any injuries. I don't think he will. I think that they'll go Untutukumachunu if there's any late injuries. But I think Dwayne may not quite get the chance. Sadly, breaking the line here. Keegan Johannes. Got a couple players with him. It looks like Sebastian de Klerk making the ground on the outside. That was a forward pass from the Bulls. They're going to say that it's a try, but they will check this, and this was forward. Unfortunately, in the hands of Sebastian de Klerk, although they're going to call it as a try. By the sounds of it, TMO, once they check it, though, it should be disallowed. A bit of a circus. It is. And again, Hassim Pede score here. I don't even think he's made his way onto the field yet. Hassim Pede, or at least he hasn't had a huge amount of time out there. Quaker was a pro quad bike rider. And then his coach told his dad he should play rugby because he doesn't have a fearometer. It will be safer for the boy. Right, the conversion is good. Right. Are they checking this forward pass? Doesn't look like it. They've just decided they might as well keep the game going. Now the Bulls are in a position where they can actually get themselves an extra bonus point again here. Because if they get themselves within 7, then that will be 2 bonus points rather than the 1. Doubling down on my man of the match vote. Says Yanko there. Now 2 minutes remaining on the clock. This game could run quite long because I think that the Bulls will just keep on going if they can. Elric Lowe looking to run it forward straight at Mornay Brandon. Give us a percentage chance to see good old Diesel Dwayne today. For the last time, I think probably about a 3% chance. It's probably about a 15% chance that we see Untutukumachunu. But I just don't see them doing Dwayne. Unless, of course, they do change it. How many tournaments would you give Braxton to get up to speed? Probably give her at least a few. Like probably, I'd say 5. Give her a bit of a chance to find the rhythm and find how to play in that sevens format. She's not the biggest player in the world. So sevens, depending on who she's up against, they'll try and target her a little bit. You know, you put her up against a Maddie Levi, it's always going to be a hard day at the office. Akafunda Merva going off to the right-hand side again. The Bulls with the wide cut-out pass. No review of that try seems odd. Well, it just looked forward by about 2 meters, but they just decided might as well call it and keep the game flowing. Looking at how many games or how many turnovers Quagga made in the game, he is literally a match winner. What would you rate this year rugby out of 10? It's been all right. There's been some good games. There's been some poor ones. I'd probably give it about a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Overall, I feel like the good, luckily, has overshadowed the bad, even though there's been a little bit of bad in recent times. Now, 30 seconds remaining on the clock now. The Bulls going back across the right-hand side. Vili LaRue going now to Akafunda Merva. And there is the knock-on. This will be the last play of the day, more than likely, as all they have to do now, the Lions, is just get that ball out of their scrum. And, yeah, close out the game with a win. It's been a bit of a hectic one. We've seen a total of 76 points between these two sides, which is maybe a few more than some were anticipating for the contest. I actually thought we were in for a little bit of a lower scoring game. Right, they've checked something on the TMO and nothing was clear, so that is good to know that it is still checking things. Just not passes leading up to a try. They have just said that the Lion is happy after getting the win here, and we have got there most of the bad. Other rugby this year has come from World Rugby and the refereeing. Says Marius, a poor rugby season, says Miami Rocker. Now it is going to be the scrum feed, I should say. I see my work is done. Thanks so much. Bedtime for me. Thanks all. Are you looking forward to the greatest rivalry tour coming up? Do you think that it will lead to a return of South Africa back to Super Rugby? So probably not a return to Super Rugby, but I think that it's great that it's going to be a tour. It's sad that the Rugby Championship, after its best competition, is now not going to be a thing next year. Like, it was just picking up steam, and it did seem like a lot of people from outside of South Africa, New Zealand, Argentina, and Australia were getting involved in watching it. So now that kind of disappears, I would say. Right, they are just waiting for yet again another scrum. We have got a new channel member, Cecilia. Thank you very much for hitting that button. You now have access to those emojis on the channel too. But we've got 10 minutes to our next live stream taking place between South Africa and also the Welsh. And so we haven't beaten a team in the top 8, and now the Lions are above us. We could end the weekend outside the top 10. Says Hano. The ball fed in by Hassim Pede. Frankie Horn back into the pocket. Kicked into touch by the Lions, and that will be the end of the game. 43 points to 3. The win here for the Lions. But nonetheless, we will get set up for that next live stream, ladies and gents. 10 minutes time, we will be back. I will see you all in a very short moment.